What is up, everybody? Good to see y'all. I know it's been a minute. I think it's been about a couple of months since I've been on here. Excuse me, I'm still dealing with the aftermath of a cough. I had like a mild strep throat or something. I'm working with to get rid of, but man, it feels good to it feels good to be back on the channel once again. Lindy End Zone in the building for the touchdown, taking the lead for the Eagles, one video at a time, and dropping buckets for the Dallas Mavericks. And man, I got quite a lot of catching up to do, definitely. But this is going to be kind of a this is going to be kind of a hangout stream. I know it's been quite a long time since I have been able to see the progress that a lot of y'all in the community have been making, and the strides of your dedication to your channels. It's been a minute since I've been on here, so I figured this be kind of like a chill down stream. I'll have the link up in the chat. Talk to y'all, see how y'all are doing, how y'all feeling about our Philadelphia Eagles. I got to talk to some specific people about their NBA teams, their their baseball teams, and what happened with my Atlanta Braves beating the Dodgers and then taking it to the Houston Astros and winning the World Series when everybody counted the Braves out. So I got to talk to y'all about that as well. But yeah, it feels good to be back on here. Missed y'all, and obviously I'm not quite set up yet. There's still some things that Mrs. Endzone and I gotta clean up in the basement. This is the basement of my home. But this is the new place for Lindy Endzone to do all of his things. I got better lighting in here, so my camera looks a little bit better, which I have noticed. And yeah, it's a quite it still hasn't quite set in yet that I'm in a house instead of an apartment. We closed on the home a little over a month ago, so we've been in the home for about a month. It feels great. It feels great to be a homeowner, but I won't keep y'all for much longer. I will get the link up. I want to talk to you guys, see how y'all are doing, and let's get to it. Jordy, what's up? Good to see you, man. Good to see all of y'all. Really is awesome to see y'all. BPS, Big Play Slate in the building. There is Birdman. What up? What is going on? I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Well, there's a couple of extra things back there that I gotta get out of the way. I got quite a lot more room to put up my Eagles memorabilia, and I got a bunch of Michael Jordan plaques I can put up. I got a bunch of stuff that I can throw behind me, and I got room for a green screen too. So at this point, possibilities are endless for me, but it's just about my vision and what I think, what I think I want to do. So, so PPS go. Please don't talk about baseball. My Dodgers lost to you. Yes, you did. Yeah, that's all I'll say. Yeah, y'all took that L. Football talk with Benny. What up, man? What is going on? Um, yeah, nothing much on my end. I know, like I said, I took yet another hiatus from my channel, and it was quite a long process of where I was to where I am now. And as I said, I'm not quite set up yet. It does feel good to be back on here. I got myself a better desk. I got myself a gaming desk. It's like 55 inches long. I can finally fit all of my things on this desk now. Laptop's right next to my monitor. I got my PS4 here. It's awesome, man. Um, I'm making some improvements. So, but yeah, but I want to talk to y'all. So we'll get it going here. I'll drop it for a quick minute. Um, let me drop it in there, and let me make sure that I pin it. Let me make sure that I pin it on the stream so I don't have to post it again. I may be I may be a little bit rusty. I may be a little bit rusty, so we're going to do that for a quick second. I have to mute this as well. There we go. Make sure I pin the link. There we go. All right, good, good. We should be good to go now. We should be good to go. What's up, BPS?
Yo, what's going on, Lindy? How are you doing, man?
What up? What up? Yeah, we were. I was just in the live call in that Mitch
Yeah,
Crosby had going on. So, but I had the idea of doing my own Hangout stream since I haven't been on here in quite some time. But I gotta catch up with y'all.
yeah.
Simply put. So I thought I thought I'd put on a chill stream, see what's up with y'all, and
Mhm.
um yeah, you already told me not to talk about baseball. You know,
Oh no.
how
Yeah,
about
I
the
mean,
Braves?
we could talk about it for just a quick second. Um, I don't know what happened. I feel like we got overconfident with y'all because I felt like we thought we could have beat y'all because of all the offensive power we had. And when y'all lost Ronald Acuna Jr., everyone thought that y'all were gonna be out of it. And when y'all
Yeah,
got those pieces in the what was it in the regular season, that
yeah. I mean, and it's crazy because it wasn't just Acuna. Yeah, he was like the pinnacle
yeah.
piece that we lost, but when you think about him with that ACL injury and how low of a standard the Miami Marlins had with posting that on their Twitter, I'm
Mhm.
throw that up there again because that was terrible. But it's a good thing that it's a good thing they took it down. But after we lost him and then Marcelo Zuna, we lost him because of the domestic violence dispute that he had, I think, with his wife or his girlfriend. And then Mike Soroka goes out again with another Achilles injury. I don't know where his longevity is going to be as a pitcher moving forward.
Yeah.
No, we lose those guys. And then at the trade deadline, I was elated that Adam Duvall came back, that he never should have left in the first place after last season. And then we get Jock Peterson, and then, Jorge Soler comes in, Eddie Rosario, a lot of cast off pieces that, these teams just didn't want anymore. And it was crazy as I was watching this team and, the fact that the Braves after the All-Star break had a record under 500. I think they're the first team in MLB history to have a losing record after the All-Star break and win the World Series. I think they're the first team to do that, which is
Hmm.
hellaciously impressive in its own right. But a lot of a lot of this past season for the Braves reminded me of what the Eagles did in 2017. Like they were, you know, we picked up people at the trade deadline that other teams didn't want anymore, and then the free agent pickups that we had, and whether it was Patrick Robinson and Jay Ajayi and Chris Long and LeGarrette Blunt, players that these teams didn't want anymore because they thought they were done. And it reminded, and the Braves, their resilience and their resistance to not backing down reminded me so much of the Eagles Super Bowl run because when
Yeah.
everyone counted them out, and at one point the Mets were the favorite to win the division and the Phillies were the favorite to win the division. Everybody counted the Braves out because of the players that they lost, but no, they stuck to what they believed in and what they thought that they could accomplish, and it was just it was beautiful to see all around. It
Yeah.
really was. I was elated, and to see two of my favorite teams win a championship in my lifetime is to watch it, to witness it. I didn't necessarily witness the Mavericks winning in 2011, but to see now the Eagles and the Braves in all their glory for what they were able to accomplish, it was a
Yeah.
surreal feeling all around.
Yeah, and I can only imagine that because what was it last year? Now, I'm only getting into the sport. It took me like a while to get into the sport because baseball. It's a hard sport to get into if you're
Yeah.
like a fan of football or something.
Hmm.
Um, but when I started to get into it, and I'm still learning a lot of new things about baseball, but yeah, man, I like how the game is, and I'm starting to like some of the players in baseball, like Acuna, Mookie Betts, of course, because that's
Yeah.
my guy for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Um, what's the other dude in uh the Angels? No, Mike Trout and
Yeah.
the other dude.
Shohei Ohtani
Yep,
for the Angels.
Otani. Yep,
Ohtani's, yeah.
Otani. Man, that dude is
I
good,
was,
that guy.
yeah, I was sad to see him have that. I was sad to see him have that. I think it was a wrist issue,
Yeah.
that he had to stop pitching or something um, to kind of, I
Hmm.
guess, like an insurance to make sure that he was still up to par with his health. That was a shame to have that happen to him, because I mean, he was one of the first to do what he did since Babe Ruth in the early 1900s. I mean, that doesn't happen very often at all, especially in the sport of baseball. When you bring Babe Ruth into the conversation, the transcendency that he has to that game alone, and for Otani to be mentioned in that kind of category is second to none. And for that to
Yeah.
happen to him, that was a shame.
Hey. Yeah.
But with your
Mhm.
Dodgers and us having to face them
Yeah.
again in the championship series, it was. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I'll be real. It was a nightmare to me, but at the same time, I think. I
Yeah.
think this Braves team had better depth this year to be able to combat the Dodgers. Now, where it got scary is again for the second playoff season in a row, the Braves had a 3-1 lead on the Dodgers. And we lost game 5. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. They're going to blow another 3-1 lead. But game 6 was that opportunity to kill the narrative. And I remember Freddie Freeman talking about it. And he said, if this happens, we're never going to hear the end of it in Atlanta. And, lo and behold, they took game 6 and they were off to the races to face the Astros, who were
The
in.
cheat trolls, or you should call them the cheat trolls, or the
Well,
cheat trolls.
I won't do that. I mean, that was 2017. I won't do that. I will be nice. Uh, but
Yeah.
the Braves beat the quote unquote best offense in baseball. That's what I heard for quite a while. Throughout the regular season and then into the playoffs, the Astros were the best offense in baseball.
Yep.
And in game 6, we shut them out 7-0 in their park.
That's
I,
that's
I
strange.
mean, I don't know. Max Fried is something else. That
Yeah.
that kid that kid brought back his nickname, the Terminator. Losing Soroka was bad enough,
Yep.
but if the Braves also lost Max Fried, I mean, we it would have been a disaster. But between
Mhm.
him and then Ian Anderson coming up clutch when he needed to, uh, Tyler Matzik was unbelievable. Will Smith was 7 for 7 in saves throughout the playoffs. Everybody clicked at the right time, and they had the right pieces to be able to accomplish what they did. And I had that same special feeling when they won the World Series as much as I did when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. And
Yep.
that's why the Braves winning this year meant as much as it did to me, not only because they were my favorite team, but it reminded me so much of what the Eagles did winning Super Bowl 52.
And the injuries too.
Yeah.
That also counts. Like we lost big pieces, like LeGarrette Blunt, not LeGarrette Blunt. My bad. The safety. I think we lost Hicks that year too. Or
Yeah,
was
Hicks went down. Jason Peters went
Yep.
down.
Wentz.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and when y'all lost Acuna, a lot of people thought y'all were out of the mix. But turns out they were wrong, and both of our teams have won a championship back to back years. We won in
Yeah.
2020. And even though people are gonna say COVID year, Mickey Mouse and stuff, all this and stuff, we won it. We won it. Yeah. Y'all did it this year, so congrats to the Atlanta Braves. And hey, they might raise the movement of stopping choking in Atlanta. And finally teams might start winning stuff in Atlanta.
Well, I mean, hate to break it to the rest of our division, but we've won the division now 4 consecutive years in a row.
It's
And
not
at
even
one
fair.
point, the Braves have won their division 14 consecutive times or
It's not
16
fair.
consecutive times. I don't know. I don't know.
It's so not fair. That division's been yours for so long. It's not fair. Like the Phillies, oh my god. Oh no. Like that
Yeah.
division is controlled by the Braves.
I mean, the Braves were the team. The Braves were the team of the '90s. I mean, they had what they made the play. They made the World Series 3 or 4 times and won once in the '90s.
Yep.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But
Yep.
AK and Jordy is in the building as well. Good to see y'all too. You came over from Mitch's
Mitch.
call-in. It's good to hang out with you guys once again. And yeah, as I started the stream, yeah, a lot has happened. As y'all can see, yeah, I'm not completely settled in quite yet. Basement wise, for that matter, there's a little bit of stuff down here, but we finally closed on our home. We're homeowners. I'm not in an apartment anymore. We also have another puppy, and so I mean, a lot of stuff has happened. A lot of stuff has happened in a couple of months, but it feels good to be back on here. Definitely does. So how have all y'all been doing? I talked quite enough, I think, about where I was and where I am now. So I mean, how have y'all been doing with your channels?
It's weird seeing you without jerseys in the background. I just want to say
I
that.
know. I
Like
know. I still have to figure out what I want to do with them.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they'll find their way back eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will. They will. I don't have the luxury of a pair of closet doors behind me anymore. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I've been good.
we'll figure something.
I've been chilling, just been, busy with school and stuff. Just trying to graduate on time. All that and stuff. Uh, I've been doing good with a lot of things on YouTube. On that side, it's been doing pretty well. But I'm just happy and glad that you're back. With the whole YouTube thing, it's kind of been like it's been a lot of like new content creators, but some of the OGs need to get it back into the game. Like you, I consider you an OG now because like you've been in it for a year, and yeah, man, you've been putting out that content when you get the chance, and man, I'm just glad you're back.
I appreciate it. I mean, even though some of y'all have been going for longer than I have, I don't know about being an OG quite yet. I know I'm getting there, but yeah, it feels great to be back on here. And I gotta put this out here because Jordy is in the house, but I hope you're not still stinging from Luka Doncic doing it to you again.
Oh, hey, Slade, don't say anything. Your Lakers are built on an indoor. Don't even start.
I said was all I said.
Don't even
was,
start.
We didn't even say anything about the Lakers. This man wants to get on the retirement home, and look who shows up. The other guy that loves to throw on the retirement home. BLS.
What do you mean?
BLSG.
That's not
At
fair.
least you admit you guys
It's
are a
been a
retirement home
while,
now.
bro.
I know. It's been I think 2 months if I checked correctly
The Niners game. The last time I think I saw you, you were calling the Niners game, and I think it was that. And then at like 2 months ago, I think that must have been when we played the Niners, September.
Hold up, I have the wrong audio avatar. Hang on. I have the wrong avatar.
God. Oh no. Yep.
The retirement home, baby.
Yep. He has a whole retirement home.
Hey, Lindy, this
man.
is the definition of the Lakers.
You missed a lot of the Lakers trolling, Lindy. It's been like that for me since the offseason.
And it's well deserved because you said they're gonna win a championship.
We are, and I still say
You are not.
Hey,
The Lakers will win a championship this year, only if they get lucky.
no, if we stay healthy, then I think it's a very, very, very high chance.
All I know is that Russell Westbrook was terribly overrated in that Lakers rotation. He just was. He was terribly overrated. That dude is not efficient whatsoever as far as being a point guard.
He's not consistent enough to me.
No.
I think he's good some games, but not every game. He has to stay balanced with his consistency, and it's also the chemistry that the team is lacking. I think when the chemistry is there and he finds his consistency, I think it'll get better.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a chemistry thing at this point. I mean, you're talking established veterans in this league that have played with multiple different players who play at different speeds and speeds and tendencies and and knowing where and I don't know, man. I don't know if I can blame that solely on chemistry. Yeah, there's probably some other things involved, but these guys are established veterans. Anthony Davis, Carmelo Anthony, and Dwight Howard, Russell Westbrook has, he's been in this league for how many years? And
Rondo.
Rajon Rondo. There you go. You guys are
Trevor Ariza, Kendrick Nunn, Kalen Horton Tucker. You still have.
He's young though. He's very young. He's very, very young.
Y'all still got a lot of decent pieces though.
Yep, Malik Monk.
Yeah, I forgot about it.
Yep, go ahead, Lindy.
Hang on, I forgot the other audio avatar. Everybody will like it against Big Boy, except Big Boy Sly.
Yep. Lakers suck. I already know.
That's so bad.
That's right.
Yep, I knew he was gonna put that. But did y'all see Carmelo?
Hang on, let me put the other one.
Did y'all see Carmelo Anthony though? He's a grown man now. Carmelo Anthony, he's putting out buckets at 30-something, 60.
Dude, that kid's a freaking dog. I will admit that kid's a freaking dog, bro.
Kid, that's a grown ass man. What do you mean?
I know.
That's a grown man.
That's the scary part, though. Carmelo is saving games for y'all at 37 years old.
Yeah.
If you didn't have Melo, you'd have an extra 2 L's in your record column. Let's just be real about that.
Oh,
that's what Russell was brought to the Lakers for in the first place. They passed on Buddy Hield,
and that's who I wanted.
Russ.
Yep, that's who I wanted because I wanted consistency. But I feel like Russ can be impactful if he gets his consistency right. And I personally like his chemistry with AD in terms of playing like that pick and roll. I think that can be very effective in the playoffs if we get there. But yeah, I just like some of the guys on this team, not most of them, because most of them are injury prone. And I will admit we are a retirement home, but yeah, man, I think it's just the chemistry, not like chemistry lacking to me.
I think one of the biggest problems is that the majority of, or if not all, the Lakers players, minus LeBron James, because he's LeBron is the highest IQ on that team. Let's be 100 about that.
Yeah.
The problem is that Russell plays at his speed and his speed only, and everyone else on that roster cannot match his speed nor nor can he drop to a speed at their level to play in unison with them. And that's what Russ has known ever since him starting the OKC. That's what he has known with playing with James Harden in Houston and Washington. He always played at his speed. He never played to the speed of other players. And again, this is another team that's being plagued with that issue, and now the Lakers have to deal with it.
Yep. And I'll admit that we are a very old team.
I just want to admit that Tyrese Maxey is a grown man right now. He's already in double digits already for the Sixers.
Yeah, yeah, man. Maxey is good.
I'm telling you, bro. He's playing that point guard role this year. We don't need Ben Simmons. We don't need him.
Yeah, can we switch to the Lakers talk to Sixers talk? Because how about that Ben Simmons fine from a week ago? That's his second fine of the year.
Bro, screw him. We won the battle. We won the battle. Ben Simmons is done.
Wow.
All right, we won the battle.
Yo, Lindy, would you mind Ben Simmons going to Dallas?
Ben Simmons. The Celtics have had interest in Ben Simmons, and
I knew somebody would go there. Don't go there. You don't want to hear me on this topic.
Bro, you're gonna go there, and you will grab Ben Simmons, and you will give us Jaylen Brown.
Bro, if that ever happens, bro, I would fire Brad Stevens like the second he talks. Like if I were
telling you, y'all are getting 2-5, bro.
You can't.
And if you do, you guys are scred.
I will
be
Brad
so
Stevens'
happy
house
if
myself.
Ben Simmons.
No, we are not getting Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is not coming here. There is no way you take a player of this team without paying us back. And
that makes
Danny
y'all
Green
older.
And or Ben Simmons is not a good payback for Jaylen.
That makes y'all so
I don't care
terrible.
who you're trying to ship to us. Unless you're giving us somebody of equal caliber, don't do it. Because it's not happening.
Here's the thing. If Ben Simmons gets traded to Boston, the Sixers want Jaylen Brown in return.
Yeah.
He's not going to Boston
because
we're not giving up Jaylen Brown.
Stevens. If Brad Stevens does that, I will be so freaking happy. And you will be so freaking pissed.
I got a question. Why call somebody the pillar or one of two young pillars of your team and then just go to trade him on a random offer for Ben Simmons a couple weeks in the season? It's not going to happen.
He's getting up there in age, by the way. Ben Simmons is getting up there in age.
Yeah, he is. And you can't just praise him and Tatum and call them your future, and then all of a sudden an offer for Ben Simmons comes in and you go, yeah, that's good. That sounds fine. That's not going to happen. I mean, unless they try to send us something huge, no, it's not going down.
Ben Simmons for Jaylen Brown. It's what they want. Ben Simmons for Jaylen Brown, straight up.
And then Jason Tatum's name got thrown in there somewhere too.
That's literally what they want. They want Ben Simmons for Jaylen Brown, straight up.
Man.
No draft capital, no bench players with it. Just straight up Ben Simmons for Jaylen Brown.
Well, somebody else on the panel here, speaking of NBA, I think they have to be kind of satisfied so far. AK with his Chicago Bulls and how they have been performing, even though the Sixers took them down. I think at least
Chicago's been good, actually. I mean, they actually have a decent team. I mean, they put up some good effort against us. Like, not the second time they played us, but the first time. I mean, wait. Do I have that right?
Yeah, I think the Sixers
did we win both?
Already.
Did we?
Yeah.
I thought we won one and lost one against the Bulls.
Yeah, you guys split, didn't you?
Yeah, you just won this one. So we lost the first matchup. Yeah.
All right, so basically they honestly have a good team. I mean, they got Zach LaVine, they now have DeMar DeRozan, they got Alonzo Ball, they had Vucevic from last year. I mean, they're decent, man. I know Uncensored's happy about the Chicago Bulls right now because he is a Chicago Bulls fan.
Yeah,
how are you liking the Bulls so far going into this year?
Ooh.
I love it compared to past seasons. I mean, it can only go up from there. But no, in all honesty, man, I told you like 3 months ago before the season even started, and I still stand by it. This team is a team that is going to try and outscore you. They're not as much of a defensive team strong wise as what we would like, so they're going to try and outduel you come to shooting. If you can stop us, then you're pretty much going to win. But if you can't stop our offense, then well, it's game over. And so far, they're proving that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to catch up on my Mavericks a little bit. I did go back and watch a couple of their games, and I don't. I mean, I don't necessarily know how I feel about them right now. Yeah, they've won 3 straight. They've dispatched the Spurs twice, and well, they should have taken care of the Spurs. They should have taken care of the Pelicans, and I wasn't very pleased with that slaughtering that they took by the Denver Nuggets, and Porzingis has already added again with trying to nurse himself back from injuries, and I think he had some back issues at one point, but again it's early in the season. It seems that Coach Kidd is on his best behavior so far. The only thing I necessarily don't like with their progress with this new coaching staff is the fact that coming into this season from last year, one thing I was looking for is the fact that I did not, and I knew that they weren't a good team defensively. They were bottom 10 in the league, and knowing that Jason Kidd as a coach has a defensive mindset to him, I knew that they were going to want to improve in that category. Now, I didn't see them completely flip-flopping where they're just average on offense. I think at one point they were 18th in the league in offense. I don't know if they have improved or gotten worse from that, but I think they were top 10 to top 12 in defense. So I'm like, okay, there's a decent improvement there. But what I didn't want to see is that the team itself teeter-totter where, if if we want to improve in this category, well, we got to take from this category, and then they end up switching on it, and I didn't want to see that. So I'm hoping going forward that the trend doesn't continue. And but all in all, I do like where they're at right now, but they need to find a better balance between their offensive and defensive efficiency. So we'll see in the coming weeks. But man, after being off of here and seeing what Luka did to the Celtics, and then my Braves winning the World Series, and
now, I don't want to talk about it.
I can't tell you how many Philly fans I have told that I'm telling
not you, only them, but all the Mets fans, bro.
I told the Phillies and Mets fans. I told them the Braves are winning the division again. I as bad as we were in the beginning of the year, we weren't going to be bad for that long. I tried to tell y'all the Braves were winning 4 straight, and well, history was made. Hate to break it to you, but you know what? It's whatever. I got my time to gloat. It's done and over. It's done and over with. I'm just glad that we brought the pendant or we brought the trophy back to Atlanta where it rightfully belongs after 26 years. Yeah. So
yeah, something like that.
We had about as long of a drought as the Dallas Cowboys continue to have. That's the one thing I didn't like.
By the way, Dallas still stinks, and Dallas is also considered overrated.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Bro, they lost to the Broncos without Von Miller, bro. Like, how do you lose to the Broncos without Von Miller? And you are literally healthy. You have Amari Cooper, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Dak Prescott, you got Ezekiel Elliott, you got your tight end Dalton Schultz with Blake Jarwin out. I mean, what else do you need? And how did you lose to the Broncos? Dallas is not winning another Super Bowl, and they're not winning one with Dak either.
I think the one thing that hurt them against the Broncos was the fact that they didn't have Tyron Smith locking down the. I think Tyron Smith is a left tackle, if I'm not mistaken. They didn't have.
Yeah, that's correct. And I mean, I think Terrence Steele was the one at right tackle.
Being that they didn't have Tyron Smith again, because he always seems to get hurt
and I think
an opportune time for Dallas, which.
And I think if I'm not mistaken, when Tyron Smith went out, then Terrence Steele went ahead and moved to left tackle, and then someone came to and then someone came to right tackle, and I don't know who that one was.
No, they moved Terrence Steele. Yeah, they moved Terrence Steele from right to left, and I'm not sure who took Terrence's place.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right side, but I mean, Eagles fans have already seen that happen to one of their tackles when we had to move Andre Dillard from left to right.
Yeah, we know. Yeah. So, and I mean, Mulata's had to play the right tackle spot.
Which that
Mulata's played there too.
That leads me to the fact that I have not necessarily heard Andre Dillard's name negatively as of late. So I'm kind of proud of his progress, especially with all the scrutiny that he has gotten. He's gotten a lot of scrutiny, and to see him make progress and get these chances to play on the line, especially when Jordan Mailata went out and Dillard goes in there and he has a couple of decent games, you have to imagine that Stoutland's pretty satisfied with how he's been progressing, especially from being a first round pick. So it was good to see it. It was good to see a little bit of the progress that Dillard has been making.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, so I haven't.
Can we stick on that?
What's that?
Can we stick on that same subject real quick of our offensive line? I know a lot of people we understand that Landon Dickerson was drafted as our future center. But with the progression that he's made at left guard next to Mailata and everything that's going on, I would not be opposed to leaving those two monsters where they're at and either sliding Sayamalu or putting Herbig in next year at center, because they're the two other people that could. I believe having that tandem of 2 6'7" guys to Jalen Hurts' back is a very good thing, and especially if they get very good chemistry together, why screw that up? Why mess with something if it's not broken? Pretty much. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big wall to have on your blind side. Let's be real.
Yeah. That is a huge wall, bro. Like 2 6'7", 6'8" guys, bro, in Mailata and Dickerson. That is just some combo, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
and I think that's something that I'm wanting to see go forward with Mailata and Dickerson.
The only possible drawback to that is, going into next year, where's Jason Kelce going to be? Are we going to? Is that going to be the time where he calls it quits, or is he going to want to stay here another year and see maybe an emergence in Jalen Hurts? If you decide to keep Landon at that left guard spot with Mailata, and knowing that he was partially drafted because of his versatility and his capability of playing the center spot. If you keep Landon at that left guard position, who is your future center if it's not in the draft? That's the other question you have to
Well, that's why I said the only two people that come off the top of my head, that's Sayamalu and Herbig, because they both have center experience.
Yeah, they definitely do. 100%.
Or you have 3 first-round picks next year. Use one.
Use one on an offensive lineman.
Use one on a center in the first round if there's one good enough. You know what I mean? If it's working, why mess with it? Just
Either you draft a
redraft a
center.
new center.
Either
You know,
you draft
it's
a
not that
center or
complicated.
you move Landon Dickerson to center since he can play all 5 positions on the offensive line.
I may or may not know of a center that's projected anywhere from the 3rd or the 4th round that may work and may do well under Stoutland.
Would he be a Notre Dame player?
Yes, in this case he would, but it's for good reason.
Well, yeah, because you're a Notre Dame fan there.
Hey, which means I have insight on him. And the thing about Jarrett Patterson is he took an injury last year, but he's a very good center. At times he's had to jump around a little bit because Notre Dame's always known for having a good offensive line, and it's to the point where we had guys like Liam Eichenberg who would jump around on the line a little bit. But when it comes to Patterson, he's a great center. He'll give you just enough, if not more. Great pass blocker. He's not somebody who you're going to see be super physical. He's not the best run blocker, but he's still a very good pass blocker. He's very efficient. He's very consistent. There's been almost no problems with him. And at the end of the day, they project him in the 3rd or the 4th round. But honestly, I think that could potentially be a little bit too low.
Well, why don't we just keep the trend going and just draft Alabama center?
I don't trust Alabama picks. I don't.
No.
Who's the next one to come to Philly from Bama? John Mechie? The wide receiver?
No, but I'll tell you what, man. I am not opposed to teaming Olave with Smith. How do you feel about that?
Oh, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh,
Chris Olave,
that would make an amazing tandem right there, bro. I truly think so. How about you?
I mean, he did good at Ohio State. I mean, I know a lot about him because I am an Ohio State fan, but it is what it is. I mean, when you have Chris Olave, I mean, a lot of people think that he's one of the best wide receivers in the country in terms of college football, and since he has that experience and he knows what he's doing, whether if it was with Justin Fields, whether if it was with C.J. Stroud, no matter who it was with, he's been there and he's just been doing his thing and catching the balls, and he's just been running the routes well. So imagine him and Devontae Smith being in the wide receiver group, united as one.
Yeah, sure. I think
Garrett Wilson is another one that is going to be in the draft class in terms of Ohio State wide receivers. I think Olave and Wilson are in the draft class this year.
By the way, I'm kind of.
I know Olave is. I know Olave is in the draft class, but I think Garrett Wilson is as well.
By the way, I'm kind of thrown off a bit with AK here because he seems to have a gangster SpongeBob as his avatar. Like, where the hell is that come from?
And
I know all us Eagles fans like the one that I have as my avatar.
Missed the conversation last night on the East Meets West.
Oh,
we were having it went way far left field. I'm sure Jordy remembers very clearly, but that is specifically why SpongeBob is on here dressed in an Eagles pimp suit.
LOL.
Oh man. Oh well, geez, 45 minutes.
It's just a little gag.
What's that?
It's just a little gag. That's all.
I figured when I figured in the Wagyu community over there that you guys got going. I figured.
No, I won't lie, man. Since you left, I've been really lazy with my channel. I think I haven't dropped content on there for I do my East Meets West lives. We do a triple stream for that, but I mean actual content though. I've just been lazy, man. I've been on so many other people's channels doing things. And, like tomorrow night, I'm on with Moochie and Pablo,
Okay.
So it's one of those things. I'm just everywhere else. I'm just don't really think about my own shit at the moment. So I got to stop being lazy with it, you know. So
Yeah, I mean, we all, I'm sure we all get to that point, no doubt, because it's like
Huh.
we get that itch, with with trying to work with everybody because it's not, it's. I think aside from like a business mentality, we're making friendships on here too. So it's like, we go virtually and through cameras
yeah,
and that to hang out, to hang out with our friends as well. And I think that gets I think that gets in the way of it too. But yeah, no, I've seen I've seen Mochi
yo,
and Pablo doing their thing. I've seen them doing their thing. Um, who else has been doing their thing?
yo,
You
no
guys
lie,
made East
Birdman's laughing his ass off right now, and I know why because of this fucking picture right here. He totally gets it. As soon as he came in just now, he put them laughs on. I know he knows. And dude, if you got a moment, get the hell in here. I want to hear your comments on it.
Yeah,
There he is right now in the chat.
Yeah.
yeah, I was
Uh,
I was scrolling YouTube. I was scrolling YouTube on my phone last night before I went to sleep, and I seen you guys on Eats Meets West. Yeah, Birdman was in there. I was
yeah.
sure you guys were. I was sure you guys were up to something. Yeah, Vic Three's doing a good job with his thing that he's got going on. What
Yeah.
is it? Bird Gang 31's doing a great job with with his with the sports network that he's got. I seen that as well. Like everybody's hitting their stride this season. It's like great, crazy, But yeah, man. And I thought while I was away, um, I thought about making a secondary channel too, but I wasn't exactly sure because I thought, well, I've already
Be
done
right
it.
back, guys.
I've already done it on this channel, but I don't want to skew the subscriber count or whatever. So I thought, well, I thought about making a gaming channel on the side, but I I don't know. I haven't put it to complete thought yet, and I felt at the same time that maybe I shouldn't do it because I already have a platform that I can post on, and then just use a secondary persona when I stream instead, and then just do it off of there. But yeah, I don't know. Like I, I don't know. I still love the game, so I thought about maybe I should make a gaming channel as well. But I don't know. I threw that up and I threw that up in the air. So yeah, we'll see in the coming weeks. We'll see in the coming weeks of what I can do because I wanted to try and integrate my camera from from my monitor here, like the external camera. I think I can plug it into my PlayStation, but I'm not particularly sure on that. So yeah, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see at the end of the day. But yeah, I don't. um, I'm not sure where to continue to stream from here. Like I said, it wasn't a the stream itself wasn't exactly a I didn't have a direct topic to go off of since I haven't been on here in quite some time. I wanted to hang out with some of you guys and see how you've been doing with your channels and who has been hanging out where and just just chilling with friends that I haven't seen in quite some time. But I seen what was it the other night, Jordy, that Vic had Vic had Jay Fizz on his channel, I think, and you were over
Yeah.
there. So how did that go?
Oh, it was good. He brought his personality like always, and him and AK kind of had a back and forth over Hertz, but
Oh
it was all
geez.
fun.
Yeah, I can only imagine how that went. Jay Fizz is a riot, man. That dude's awesome. Man, what else did I see over the time that I was gone? I don't remember much of yeah, I don't remember much of anything else other than I needed to get back on my channel. So But
Definitely, bro. It's good to have you back, man.
yeah.
It's always good to have a fellow content creator back.
It feels good to be back on here. Like I said, it was um, being away for 2 months and trying to Mrs. Endzone and I trying to settle ourselves into our home now, and it took a little bit. Yeah, there's still some stuff that we have to get situated back here, but it leaves me a better blueprint on what I want to do as far as my background. Do I want a green screen, or do I want to display more of my jerseys, or whatever I want to do? I got a lot more options now, but yeah,
Yeah.
well, we'll see when it all comes down to it. But yeah, I don't I don't know. I'm not sure where to. We're already 50 minutes into this little hangout stream here, and I'm not exactly sure where I want to take it. But if there's anything else that comes to mind that you guys want to talk about, I mean, I'm all for it. Shoot away.
I mean, I got one for you, Lindy. Did you expect your Atlanta Braves to like win the World Series? Because think about the teams that you like had to go through. I mean, think about the teams that you had to go through. They were tough opponents, but you all ended up beating them, though.
Yeah, and that was one of the first conversations that I had when Big Play Slate was in here before you joined in BLSG. But yeah, I was talking to BPS saying that a lot of what the Braves did resembled, to me, in my opinion, of our Eagles winning the Super Bowl. The adversity that they went through, the amount of players that they have lost, when we were counted out, when Carson went down, uh, you know, we weren't the favorite anymore in the division when we lost Ronald Acuna to that ACL tear. I think that's pretty.
I figured, but you guys ended up finding a way to win those games, and you just ended up winning the World Series somehow without him.
Yeah,
But you won it for the man, though. You won it for him.
Yeah, we won it for Ronnie, we won it for Soroka, we won it for, I think most importantly, Hank Aaron. That was for Hank Aaron. It was also for Freddie Freeman too. I mean, Freddie devoted 10 years of his MLB career to Atlanta, and all those times where we fell short and we weren't that very good of a baseball team when Freeman was in his earlier years of developing as the all-star player that he is now. To be able to stick with the Braves as long as he did, and to finally persevere with a group that really weren't favorites at all in any series that we played up until we won the World Series. Game 6 of the World Series, I think, was one of the only games where the Braves were favored to win. Think about that. We weren't favored.
That's crazy, to be honest.
We weren't favored to beat the Brewers. We weren't favored to beat the Dodgers. And at the beginning of the World Series, we were not favored to beat the Astros. And that's all those resemblances.
I mean, that's crazy, though. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it reminds me so much of what the Eagles were able to overcome in 2017 to still win the Super Bowl. Because, I mean, let's be real. The Super Bowl, it's a one and done. Like, every playoff game is a one and done in the NFL. It's a lot more difficult to win a Super Bowl than it is to win a World Series. Well, let alone the fact that in a regular season in baseball, I think there's 162 games that, these teams have to be consistent enough to be able to, to lock in a playoff spot. And then you have to carry that regular season consistency into the playoffs and be able to face these teams that are better than you. The Braves were one of the only teams in the playoffs that did not have 90 wins. We only had 88 wins. And then we go and face a Milwaukee Brewers squad that won 93 games in the year. I think the Dodgers were over 100 wins. And then
the Dodgers
I think had 98 wins.
Yeah, the only teams that had over 100 wins, correct me if I'm wrong, were the Dodgers and the Giants.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, here's how I thought it would have went down. So, in terms of how far you guys should have gotten, even though you all won the World Series and all that, I mean, you guys should have been able to beat the Brewers, which you already did. So that was a decent job. I mean, but then second round against the Dodgers, you guys should have been eliminated there because I mean, the Dodgers, they had a bunch of weapons. They had I'm not really too much into baseball, but I'm sure Big Play Slay is because he knows a lot about the Dodgers. I mean,
Yeah.
Cody Bellinger.
real fast, guys.
Cody Bellinger, I know he's on there, and
Yep. Bellinger.
Real fast, I got some
Bellinger.
breaking news for you from Mitch's channel. We talked about it over there. The Packers just were fined $300,000 for their COVID violation, and Aaron Rodgers and Alan Lazard each got a $4,650 fine for it.
Man.
So there you go.
That's
Back
it.
to baseball. Real quick.
Yeah, that's what they got.
Wow, that's a slap on the wrist, dude.
Yep. The Brew Crew, y'all should have beaten. But us, I don't really think y'all should have beaten us. I think we should have eliminated y'all round 2.
yeah, you definitely should have. And then after y'all beat the Dodgers in round 2, y'all played the Astros, and you all had to go through a guy like a Jose Altuve, and Jose Altuve is pretty much the best player on that team, if I'm not mistaken. And you guys should have also kind of lost to the Astros because Altuve is there, and he's actually pretty decent over there. But y'all should have gotten eliminated by the Dodgers at least.
Well,
Yeah, the Brew Crew, y'all should.
Who did the Dodgers lose though that did make an impact in that series? I can't remember his name, but the Dodgers did lose somebody important. I can't remember who it was.
Was it
Will Smith?
No, it was one of your better bats.
Was it Bellinger?
Bellinger?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Bellinger. I can't remember who it was, but
Max Muncy?
I can't. Think.
What is he like? Shortstop,
Justin Turner,
right fielder, pitcher. What is he?
I can't remember.
No, he
who
said
it
he's
was,
a
but you
big
guys
bat, so
lost
it won't be a pitcher.
You guys lost him during the series. I can't remember who it was, but it was a big loss. Crap, that's gonna bother me now. But you guys lost him, but still, even the Dodgers losing that player. Oh, Mac Muncy, thank you.
Muncy, yeah, I
Thank
said
you
it.
for
Yeah,
that.
Max
Yeah,
Muncy.
Max
I already
Muncy.
said it.
Yep.
Yeah, we lost
was a big
Muncy.
I'm gonna say Justin Turner, but
Yeah.
Wait,
Birdman-
uncensored. You know something about baseball?
Birdman's another Dodgers fan, so he should have known.
well, yeah, he's a West Coast guy.
Uncensored knows something about baseball. I'm so shocked.
Are you what the fuck? Really?
No, I was surprised.
Why are you doubting his baseball knowledge, Slay?
Yeah, come on, Slay.
I didn't think you had I thought
Bro,
you paid attention.
I
to,
have been to
a baseball
over
guy.
700 Philadelphia Philly games. Okay, I know a lot about baseball. I don't talk about it because we never fucking win. There's nothing to talk about.
Thank you.
Well,
I'm assuming
that's 'cause the Braves are
you're a Red
losing
Sox
right
fan,
now.
Jordy.
Do you really want to go there?
If the Braves
really-
won in the NL East, the Phillies would win more. Let's be honest. Because
Yeah.
the Mets are overrated every year. The Nationals are inconsistent, and the Marlins are just a disgrace at this
To
point.
baseball.
You're right.
The
They
Marlins
are.
were good at one point, but they're not that
Yes,
team
sir.
anymore.
Let's
No
go,
lie, man. I
Dodgers.
sit there
Birdman.
sometimes and I try and figure out if any of these guys know what the fuck they're doing. It's really just.
I
Yeah,
mean, the Phillies had promise ever since they, it's like they bring in Bryce Harper and then Joe Girardi's their manager, and
Yeah.
they still had Reese Hoskins, and then
Yeah,
they
that was
bring
better than the last one we had before Joe Girardi.
Yeah, but still, in the
Gregorius
end, man,
comes
if
in
you're
and the
not winning,
pitching.
it means nothing.
Yeah, we didn't
You know?
win, but I feel like Joe Girardi was better than the guy we had last year.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
in the
know
end,
how we
you're
did
not
that.
getting it done, and that's not okay with me.
I don't know
know,
how the Dodgers didn't win the World Series this year with our loaded.
I don't know how
You
y'all
guys-
lost
you
to the
guys-
Braves.
That's the
Our
scary
offense
part
is
too. The
so
Dodgers this year The Dodgers this year had more depth than they did when we
Last
blew
year.
the first 3-1 lead.
Exactly.
Yeah. But listen though, how
And
many
you guys even brought
times?
in Trey Turner.
Bauer,
Come
Mookie
on.
Betts.
Yeah, but how many
Julio
times
Urias.
before last year did the Dodgers sit there and make it and choke? They're known for choking. Other than last year, they got lucky. Or other than last year, they were there, but they choked. And
But
last
this
year they
year-
won it.
This year we were so loaded. We have Bauer, Betts, Urias.
Yeah, and I get
Bellinger,
it, but you guys are known for choking. My stepson is a Dodgers fan, and trust me, he tells me about his heartbreak all the time. You know, he's like, listen, man, he's like, we got such a great team, and we always get there every year, and every year we fucking choke. And then they win it last year. He's all fucking happy and shit. And now you guys did the same thing again this year. You fucking choked. Like,
Hey, right, Birdman. Let's go Dodgers, baby. Let's go.
the truth fucking
Blue
hurts.
White.
But listen, I'm in the same fucking boat as you guys, so I can't say shit. But I'm telling you the
I
truth.
I
don't
sure can.
know. We're like,
I definitely can.
I,
Dodgers suck.
Yeah.
what's your team?
Boston. Do you really want to go there?
Uh,
I asked earlier. Do you
You're a
really
Red
want to go
Sox
there?
fan?
I'm not talking about Houston, Birdman.
Your
I'm
team,
talking
dude.
about you guys just make it every year and then you choke. I get it. They cheated, but fuck.
I mean,
Like, come
the
on.
Red Sox, don't they just develop players? Like, I don't like the Red Sox. They're known for being like
The
consistent.
Boston Red Sox is Bill Belichick's baseball team.
basically. Like,
I mean, come
Wait,
on.
Jordy, are you a Red Sox fan?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
didn't
just
know.
don't like. I don't like the.
I mean,
Red
come on. He's an Eagles fan.
Listen, we don't talk baseball. I
Yeah.
never do. I didn't know that. I
Neither
know
do
he's a
I.
Celtics. No,
What?
I know he's Celtics, Notre Dame, and Eagles. I didn't know the Boston thing. He never
I was
told
gonna
me
say
about
we
that.
don't talk hockey either, and I'm at
Yeah,
the
I'm
United
a-
Comets games
I'm an
every
LA
week.
Yeah,
Kings
well, see,
fan.
I
I'm an LA
fucking
Kings
hate
fan in
hockey.
hockey. In hockey,
I
I'm an
hate
LA
hockey.
Kings fan. Yeah.
What is Jordy, a Boston Bruins fan?
Unless the benches are being cleared and someone's getting knocked the fuck out, I hate hockey.
That's the best part.
Wait, who's
I
your
know.
team, Jordy? Jordy, who's your team in hockey?
Rangers.
Oh my God, I'm an LA Kings fan. I thought you.
I
Saying
know.
it's
go
I
with the
thought you
Comets
were
for
gonna
the
say
I'm
A's.
all
Boston
in.
Bruins.
No,
You know,
Oh, the
hey,
Bruins.
and I'm sure Lindy can protest to this. There was only one time I watched hockey, and that was back whenever I was a kid, and that was only because of Wayne Gretzky.
Personally,
One of, if not the
I've
greatest
never
hockey player of all time,
necessarily
right there.
watched a hockey game, so I
Yeah.
never got into hockey personally.
But you know who Wayne Gretzky is, don't you?
Yeah, I know who Wayne Gretzky is. Yeah, of course.
Played
Yeah,
for
but-
multiple teams, didn't he?
but
He played for the
this-
He
Kings.
played for the Rangers.
I know he
right?
played for the Kings.
He
I know he
played
played
for
for
us,
the Kings.
But this Dodgers team this year was so loaded. I don't know how we didn't get to the World Series. Like, we should have been, y'all. We have Will Smith, Walker Bueller.
I don't know how
Yeah.
you all choked to the
Turner.
Braves, bro.
We have Trey Turner.
Without Ronald
Justin
Acuna.
Yeah,
the
we have,
best player.
Bueller got abused in Game 6. You
Oh
got
my
you got
God.
he got
We-
abused in Game 6.
yeah,
Plus,
Muncy,
bro,
when we
how
lost
can you
him, that
lose?
sucked.
How can you lose with literally just having Bollinger alone? Like, that dude is a fucking stud. I would give two left nuts to have him on my fucking team.
Bellinger, Corey Seager, Mookie Betts, Trey Turner.
Yeah, dude.
Julio
Like,
Urias.
Bollinger
I forgot
he was
alone
on
is
the
worth
Dodgers.
Justin
everything.
Turner, Trey Turner, Max
Yep.
Muncy,
Yeah, Turner's
Walker Bueller,
amazing, dude.
Will Smith.
Turner's
I can keep
amazing.
going.
By the way, we're
Well,
gonna have to
obviously,
start
you're a
making. Hey,
Dodgers
there's gonna
fan. Of
have
course
to
you
be a
know the
rap
whole
song that
freaking
comes
roster
out pretty
play.
soon.
Huh?
There's gonna have to be a rap song that comes out pretty soon with a real Will Smith. Please stand up, because there's a lot of them out there right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Oh, Dodgers.
our closer was Will Smith, and he went 7 for 7 in the postseason. So
And isn't there two Will Smiths in football right now?
Yeah, there's at least
Yeah.
one.
There's one. I know that.
One. Okay.
It's either one or two. There might be a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Eagles. Well, yeah. Have y'all talked about the Eagles yet?
a little bit, not much,
Yeah.
a little bit.
That's the
Baseball,
depressing front right now for all of us.
I mean, I'm not finna talk about no basketball because my team needs to get the groove. But terms
Hey,
of
I'm 7-3
football,
right now. I feel good.
yeah,
You
congrats.
just don't
to
want your
y'all.
Lakers to continue to get roasted. We get it.
That too, but man, the Eagles, like we played a close game with the Chargers, but like we should have won that
The
game.
blame went to Jonathan freaking Gannon.
And Derek
Like,
Barnett.
what were
Derek
we running against the Chargers, bro? And Derek Barnett. Let's not forget Derek Barnett, bro.
Yeah, but like the positives I took away from that game is we made it close, and a couple players that I liked watching that game was Howard, Smith, Marcus Epps on the defense because he was flying all over the place, and I wasn't the hugest fan of Marcus Epps, but I'm starting to become a bigger fan of him because he keeps showing me that he's improving game by game, and he's gotten a lot better, but still want to see more improving.
Hey, VPS, your next jersey should be Marcus Epps, bro.
No lie, bro. The only dude I want to see have 100% snaps this weekend coming up because I want to truly see what he's got. Davion Taylor. Like I want him to have it all, dude. He showed me a lot this past weekend. He was
Thank you.
one of our only hot spotlight players this past weekend. Yeah, he only had 6 tackles, but the tackles he had, dude, they were awesome. You know, he's a heavy hitter. You know, I like the way he's opening up, and the more experience he gets, the better he's going to get. So I don't think we should hold this kid back one bit. Let's see what he's got.
And there's a lot of Slay critics. Even though he only gave up only one catch, and that's it. Other than that, he had that one big play to Mike Williams, and
that was just a hell of a catch by him.
No, didn't Darius Slay give up much more than
no.
catch?
He only gave up one catch. That's it. I swear. Like the
I thought he gave him many more.
No, he only gave up one. He gave up 2 catches, but one catch was what was it? When he guarded Mike Williams, Williams only had 2 catches, and he only had 58 yards because he had one big play on Slay. And the other one, it was more sort of on Rodney McLeod than Slay because Slay was already guarding someone else.
But he had that one pretty bad tackle attempt on the tight end. He just
he does not know how to tackle good.
Like, dude, what you're gonna try and bring a 6'8" guy to the ground by going at him high. Just take his legs out, dude. You know?
Yep. How many Bird Gang people are there in this world?
I don't know.
The chat? There's Bird Gang 31, Bird Gang 114, Bird Gang Nation.
But what up?
Oh my god!
Just got a little bit of a hangout stream. I mean, you know, I haven't been on my channel in a couple of months, but I gotta talk to my people, you know, my fellow content creators, fellow friends, catch up with them, and you know, we're talking a bunch of different sports here. You know, whether it's my Braves winning the World Series or Luka Doncic taking it to the Boston Celtics again, or you know, the unfortunate situation that is with the Eagles right now. But you know, speaking of basketball, it seems the Sixers are in a tight contest at halftime with the
surprisingly.
Yo,
I expected it to be a blowout at the half.
The Bucks are only up 3 right now.
Luka is guaranteed, or not guaranteed, but he is magic. Like Luka is on another level. Yo, that dude is on fire. Like he's gonna be a superstar in this league, and he already is.
Well, I mean,
oh my god!
I mean, we're the 3 seed in the West, or wait, no, wrong division. That's the division. We're
the conference.
Yeah, I have to go to the conference. What are we? Yeah, we're the 3 seed. We're tied. We're tied with the Jazz for the 2 seed in the West right now. So my Mavs are in a good spot. We're us and the Jazz are both 7-3.
Warriors.
Hey, that's us. That's us too, man.
The Warriors are the best. Yo, the Warriors, man, they look.
I did not see that coming for.
I'm telling you, Steph with the 50 bomb though. Like, damn.
I picked them to be my number 1 out of the West. Actually, I said it would be them. The Suns right behind them at 2, and then us 3. And so far I've been right with the Warriors one.
I mean, if
But,
they get Clay back, they'll definitely probably win the
All I
West.
gotta say, SG to you, sir, is dun 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 dun
Oh
dun
my-
dun dun
But
dun, because
the
I'm
Cavs,
coming.
Bulls.
We
the-
are coming. So
the
don't slip
Cavs,
up, my guy. One
Yeah.
slip up, you done.
yo, you can be saying that, but you don't let the Cavs slip up on y'all. The Cavs are looking good right now.
I know.
And
I
imagine
know,
losing to
but
Colin
that's what I'm
Sexton,
saying,
bro.
man. The Sixers can't afford to slip up right now because there's two teams behind them that are coming. You know
The
what I'm saying?
Sixers are terrible.
Bro, we are somehow competing against this Bucks team, and we only have like 7 or 8 players tonight. Well, we probably have 7 because Seth Curry's out. We had like
Well,
8 players last night.
I mean, to be fair,
No.
to be fair, the Bucks have as good of a record as the Celtics. They're both 4-6. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, and you're 8 and
it
3
seems
or 8
that
and 2. So
how is
you
the
know.
Eastern Conference? How is the Eastern Conference so far more competitive than the West? I don't know if I seen that one coming. There is a 3-way tie for the 2 seed between the Bulls, Heat, and Wizards. They all have a record of 7-3.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And dude, those teams are only going to get better as the season goes, as long as injuries don't, kill us.
There's Big
Yeah,
Place
'cause-
Boy's face.
Chemistry only gets better as time goes on. So.
Yeah, sure.
Hey,
And this is a young
The face
team
we
that
were
we
missing out
and
on
I
is
can't
Jordy.
speak for the 76ers, but for me, this is a very young team that we have. So we're
Young but
we're still
talented.
going, and we're still, building chemistry. So who knows where this could take us?
You're young but talented, my guy.
Yep,
Your
I
team
know.
is. I mean,
And we don't have
Levine,
the Ben
Vucevic,
Simmons disruption.
Lonzo, and DeMar DeRozan, bro. Those are your 4 main
I know.
guys right there.
I'm just glad we ain't got no Ben Simmons type disruption. Like
Oh, yeah,
That
Ben
is
Simmons.
so mean, man. You don't gotta throw that shot.
No, wait. Ben Simmons
No,
should go
I'm
to the
saying
Celtics
that's
to make
just
Jordy pissed.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying though, like it does suck for him because even though he's not playing, it's still affecting players.
Yeah.
Like you have to realize something. Even though he's having a disgruntled dispute with the upper management, players on that team, he still has friends. So it does take a toll on them. It's kind of the same way I put on for Ertz last year. Even though Ertz had a bad year last year, I put some of that on the mental toll of Carson Wentz because they're best friends. And what Carson was going through with upper management, he knew about it because Wentz he confided in him. They talk shit all the time with one another, and that put a mental strain on Ertz as well to the point where it affected his game. So that's what I'm talking about. So not having that disruption at all just makes me feel good. And I feel bad for you because I believe your team could even be so much better if he wasn't there.
And the Bulls were a drama-filled team a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Look how it's changed.
It was a shitty existence, man. And when you get that, it's infectious. That shit can get buried deep.
There was memes about
the faster you get rid of it, the better off you'll be.
There was whole memes about the drama thing with the Bulls.
Yeah, I think the only aside from the issues I talked about earlier in the stream with my Mavs, I think the only other thing, in terms of how Luka is playing right now is I don't know, his efficiency field goal wise is not. It's not very good. I mean, he's only shooting 44% from the floor. I think there needs to be a little bit higher for him, especially that is, he doesn't really seem to be improving from 3 either. He's only shooting 29% so far. It's quite abysmal, to be quite frank. I mean, the only positive I'm getting out of him right now is his free throw percentage a little bit. I think he's hovering around 71 right now, but he needs to be a high 70, low 80 type of point guard. But I don't know. I guess he has to, shake some early season rust off like a lot of these superstars have to, especially the fact that their team needs them. And the Mavs right now are in a state of, trying to figure out the type of depth that they have. I knew that they were going to have better depth going into this year than they did last year, with the additions of Frank until I think it's until Akina. I'm probably not pronouncing it
Yeah,
correctly.
he played on the Knicks, right?
Yeah,
So
he
Frank
was
Ntilikina or
he wasn't a scorer. He was more known for having good defense. So
yeah.
he was a defensive guy. Reggie Bullock is a defensive guy that can still shoot the three. He's a very good 3-point shooter. Sterling
There's one
Brown's a
more
very
guy.
good 3-point
Yeah, him.
shooter.
Sterling Brown.
And he's got a little bit of defense as well. So I did like the direction of free agency of what Jason Kidd was trying to do in collaboration with Dirk Nowitzki and Mark Cuban. But the only thing that they missed on is the unnecessary amount of personnel that they have at the center position. I don't know why the hell they have so many bigs in this team, whether it's Boban, Porzingis, Dwight Powell. You can stretch Maxi Kleba to the four or a small five if you wanted. Cauley Stein, Moses Brown. I just I don't get it. Why does this team have so many bigs and then they just get so few minutes? It's like, what do you like? Do you have extra cushion here for the fact that you may not be able to trust that Porzingis will stay healthy? Or I have no idea what they were trying to accomplish with the amount of bigs that they have on their team. That's the only thing that really confuses me right now as to that type of direction that the Mavericks did with with the personnel that they have as far as depth goes. They have too many bigs. I don't get it. I really don't.
So Lindy, I gotta ask you: are you satisfied with what you have, or do you feel like you're missing a piece?
I'm satisfied with what I have for the time being because I need to know how these guys do later into the year with building this chemistry with Luca, since Luca is so ball dominant and he's the primary decision maker on this team. I still need to know how well Coach Kidd's philosophy continues to grow with Luca and Porzingis being the forefronts of this team. Uh, I need to know how well he's going to be able to switch up the starting five from time to time because I don't think Dwight Powell's a starter. I don't like him starting. I would rather see a little bit of a mix up of Cauley Stein and Moses Brown from time to time. But I think the only reason they like Dwight Powell so much is because of the amount of energy he brings when he's on the court, especially it's not, and I don't think it's predicated to one side of the ball. He's good energy wise, offensively and defensively. Like he knows where he needs to be, like in terms of floor spacing when Luka needs him under the basket, or if he can take a couple of dribble moves and draw a foul. Dwight Powell knows what Luka is looking for in that respect, as well as Maxi Kleba. That's why the Mavericks kept a lot of these guys over in the offseason because they already have that continuity with Luka. And that's one thing that Luka addressed to in the offseason is what builds championships is having that chemistry with your players and going off season through off season through off season and seeing like more drastic roster changes of players coming and going. You don't establish anything that way, and that's one big influence that kept a lot of these players on this Mavericks roster while inserting some positions of need that didn't have the same type of depth. So we did have a decent amount of shooting guards, but the shooting guards all didn't do the same thing. Same, as well as the point guard spot. So, we're in a position now where we're not playing Trey Burke very often. We haven't seen Tyrell Terry. but it's the same thing as, well, it's not really the same thing the Eagles are going through right now, but it's a familiar or a similar philosophy with that experimental type of phase, figuring out what you have and knowing where to put these guys in certain positions at certain times during the game. So I'm okay with what they have for the time being, but it depends on how well they connect with each other and who gets the most overall minutes, because I think that's what's going to determine what the Mavericks do at the trade deadline.
Okie dokie.
Yep. But man, already an hour and a half, almost an hour and a half, and I don't know how much longer I'll probably carry the stream on for. I think we covered a decent amount in terms of just hanging out, chilling with y'all, and I don't think we brought much up in terms of the Eagles, and well, there's not really much to talk about with them, unfortunately, after taking that L to the Chargers, and
we all don't want to talk about it.
The defense is not much of a conversation to be had because it's just the same thing over and over, and the offense just seems to teeter-totter up and down. Like one week they're progressing and then the next week they're regressing. It's just very difficult at times to find a middle ground with them, and for how difficult Sirianni can give us that kind of message. Like what kind of progress are we seeing from week to week as we watch these games, and the fact that the Eagles are still winless at home, of all places. Yeah. We don't have a single win at home, and there's not a lot to like right now. But yeah, I was one of those guys that I set my over and under to 8 games. Was I a little generous, as a lot of people were? Sure. Some people had us winning 12 games. Some people had us winning 10 games, but that's why I kept it at 8. As I said, best case scenario, this team is going to win 9 to 10. Worst case scenario, they're either going 7-9 or 6 no. I have 7-10 or 6-11. Now, I mean, and I think that was pretty fair, and it still looks to be fair at this point that we're 3-7, 3-6. Yeah, we're 3-6. So, I mean, what more else, or like what else can we say about this football team other than this was to be expected, I guess.
By the way, did y'all see the new update on StreamYard? They added
members. Like I thought that was cool. Like you can have a team now, and you can assign members to the same account and have a role. I thought that was pretty cool.
What do you mean? Like they could just add it or something?
I think you can. I think it would work the same as. It reminds me of content creators having partnerships on YouTube where they share each other's account information so they can do double live streams and whatnot, and have more of like a publication type of atmosphere instead of it being a singular channel. It's more of a network based. That's what the update on StreamYard kind of reminds me of. Like like on Discord, you have your main person on Discord, and then you can assign roles to people. I think that's what it kind of reminds me of. I thought that's a cool feature that StreamYard added.
Yeah.
It adds for opportunity like us that use the StreamYard platform, whether it be free or through a subscription. But I think they're offering 1 member free for anybody. So that leaves more opportunity for people. So good for them.
You need to cut this hair off. Oh my god. It's growing too much.
Well, yeah, it looks like I gotta continue to get myself back out there with and hang out with other content creators. And I'm sure now that I have a stream up on my channel, people see that I'm active again and be like, well,
Mhm.
Lindy's back, and yeah,
Collabs.
yeah,
Collabs in store.
sure, maybe we'll see. I don't know. We'll see, but I
Yeah.
won't take up all y'all's. I won't take up any more of y'all's time. We were already at this for about an hour and a half, and I guess I'll leave it at that. If you guys got any more final thoughts you want to get through, have at it. The floor is yours, and we'll close this thing out.
Yeah, man. You know, all I can say is welcome back, dude. It's been a long time. Missed you. You know, like I said earlier, I felt alone, but after that talk on Mitch's channel today, it's finally good to have someone have my back for once.
Wow.
So,
You feel
you
alone.
know,
Wow. Like I wasn't
I
here.
do.
Wow. Wow.
I'm talking on the hurt subject
Oh,
specifically.
I mean, I'm on the same train as you and Lindy, though, on the Hurts thing.
Well, very few of us are, so, but
Some guy named
I'm just happy.
Champ One.
I'm just
Uh-oh.
happy you're back, man. You bring great content, and yeah, I look forward to working with you here soon.
Yeah, absolutely. But wait a minute. I guess we're not closing out just yet because somebody else hopped in here. Good to see him. Birdman in the building.
Wow,
Hey,
wow, wow.
Birdman.
Birdman_951.
What's up, fellow Dodgers fan? What's up, man?
What's going on, guys? Man, hey Lindy, I was about to put a APV or whatever you call it out on you, MIA, because I saw you on Twitter and I was like, wait a second, why am I not getting my alerts from Lindy? So I went over there to YouTube and I'm like, what son of a bitch? He hasn't even been on here and shit. And I'm like, dude, damn you, YouTube. Come to find out, you actually haven't been putting any content. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, so it's good to hear from you, man. I'm glad. I hope everything's good. I hope all is well over there, and because you're one of the guys that started off with us, so it's kind of like you're part of the Brady bunch now, you know.
Hey, we
I,
wouldn't
I
we wouldn't be
guess
here
I
without you.
guess it
Yeah.
seems to go in like different kind of branches. Like you have your OGs of OGs, and I guess an LB and Philly 500, Joey Shakes and
Mm-hmm.
Philly Mike, and they're a bunch of those guys. And then I don't know. It's like one of those ancestry trees, but with but with Eagles content creators. That's the
Right.
best way I can describe it. But it's yeah, no, it like I said, it feels good to be back on here, and it actually, it feels good that I'm actually doing this in my own house. Still
Right.
trying to
Right.
still trying to get used to being in a house now, and you know like I said, I got better lighting in this basement. My camera's working better, and just making a bunch of upgrades. It feels good overall. So, but yeah, appreciate you hopping in here before I closed the stream out. But yeah, I mean, second Dodgers fan in here.
Yeah.
Yes, I apologize, but all I can say is that the Braves killed the narrative that that could have very well haunted us for 2 years in a row and taken another series L to the Dodgers, but we persevered and gave the Astros the business. So,
Yeah,
um,
you're kind of like that cousin that's shows up late to the party and you kind of root for the guy. So I was rooting for you, man, because I did not want Houston to win for 1 second because I was about to throw up all over my shirt. I was like, they cannot do this no more. So I was like, come on. And you know what's funny is that you're cheering for a guy like Slitta. Shout out to Slitta. He's over there Atlanta Falcons and Atlanta Braves, but congrats to you guys. You guys took care of us. The Dodgers just fell apart there at the end, man. And I was really excited because we beat the stinking Giants. I was like, well, these guys got to be the cream of their record shows. These are the guys that you got to take these guys out. So
Yeah,
I
Giants
guess,
overrated though.
yeah, I guess it was fool's gold at this point, or either Atlanta was just on fire, man. The bats were alive, dude. You guys did your thing.
I, I didn't see the like the emergence of, well, I kind of did see it coming because a lot of Braves fans were getting impatient with him, but Austin Riley really came on in this year. And while a lot of people are saying that, oh, he can, like he doesn't have a feel for the breaking ball, and he can only hit fastballs out and yada yada, and his
Yeah,
plate discipline is terrible, and he doesn't have a good eye, and he's not going to be a good third baseman, and we should have kept Josh Donaldson. I'm like, y'all got to calm down. He's better than
right.
you think. And um, how well he looked, especially after when Ronald Acuna got hurt with that torn ACL, and as soon as he went down, everybody's like, "Oh, the Braves are done. They're not winning the division. It's gonna be a battle between the Phillies and the Mets because the Nationals weren't in it either, and the
Right.
the Marlins are always a disgrace. That's never, I
The
mean,
Marlins are dog, you know what?
yeah,
The
I mean,
Miami is a place for like just depression. I don't know. Like it's a good city, but other than the
You know what they
heat,
are?
it's
They're just pretty
depressing.
faces.
Yeah,
but
it's just a depressing city. I don't know
but
why.
I wasn't gonna
What do you
lie
mean?
because
They're depressing every year.
the and again, in every playoff series the Braves played, they were not favored. We weren't favored to beat the Brewers, just because of the circumstance. And I think Christian Yelich was up and down, and it didn't seem that they had similar depth to the Braves as far as bats went, but their pitching was pretty good. And Josh Hader is always a guy that you don't want to mess with in the closing innings. But man, Freddie Freeman hitting that dinger off a Hader, just like, oh my goodness, it felt so satisfying to watch that. We weren't favored to beat them. Brewers were pretty good, but I just don't think Milwaukee was ready for that moment of the playoffs. I don't think they were ready. Uh,
Right.
and then, like, we get to the championship series again, and who's in our way once more? The Dodgers are in our way, and I just
Right.
went back to, like, here we go again. They're
Yep.
they're gonna get into a 3-1. The Braves are gonna go up 3-1, and they're gonna choke it in 7 games. I
Yeah.
got afraid because we had that 3-1 lead again, and
Right.
then we should have finished. We should have finished it in what was
In
it? We
L-
should have finished it
LA.
at
The
in Atlanta. We couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
Just like we should have finished it at Truist Park against the Astros, and we let that get away from us. But we go up 3-1 again. I'm like, oh, here we go. And then Freddie Freeman comes out and he talks about that. You know what? We're not going to hear the end of it if we don't kill this narrative, and
Right.
we got to do this. Enough is enough. And the Braves persevered. We took advantage of Walker Bueller at the best time, and the
Right.
worst time for the Dodgers' sake. Bueller did not have a good game. We kept hitting off of
Uh.
him uh, at the right points, and then we get to the Astros series, and like I said, that was another series that we went up 3-1 again on the Astros. We really should have finished it in Game 4 in Atlanta when Adam Duvall hit that grand slam early. I'm like, you got to be kidding me! Like,
Right.
Duvall hits that grand slam, and they just the bats went completely cold. And
Yeah.
at that point, because we lost Charlie Morton in Game 1, and Charlie Morton's he has a hell of a heart to be able to stand on that mound and pitch 16 more times on a broken leg before he called it quits because he knew his team needed him, and the Braves still won that game. um, that's what hurt us going late into the series and not being able to close it out, because the Braves we didn't have enough starters anymore, and we had to rely on our bullpen to take it over, and that didn't work. And so We couldn't finish it in Game 4, and I'm still baffled that they did it because
Right.
it just didn't feel like that year for the Braves to accomplish this. But again, I'll say it one more time since you probably weren't in here. I don't know what you heard in the chat, Birdman, but the reason this run for the Braves was as special as it was to me personally is it reminded me so much of when the Eagles won Super Bowl 52. All the adversity that they went through, the level, like the level of injury that they sustained when Carson was gone, when Jason Peters was gone, and Jordan Hicks was gone, and I think Michael Kendricks missed some games, and this guy goes down. And then we get to
Yeah.
free agency acquisitions, and then we get to the trade deadline. The Eagles and Braves both picked up players that teams necessarily didn't want anymore. The Braves went and got Adam Duvall back, which really from last year he shouldn't have left in the first place. They should have held on to Adam Duvall. So thank you to the Marlins for giving him back to us. Thankfully, thank you. So we get Adam Duvall back, and then I think it was the Cleveland Indians that didn't want Eddie Rosario anymore. He ends up being the hero, and that's the craziest part. It was Jock Peterson against the Brewers. He was the hero in that series.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You needed a Dodger to help you. I see that. I see where you're going with that.
He was a Cub too.
LOL.
He was a Cub too.
Yeah.
But it was Jock Peterson against the Brewers.
Yeah.
He was the hero in that series, minus Freddie Freeman. And then Eddie Rosario against the Dodgers, because Rosario just took the life out of the Dodgers, whether it was, what was it, that 3-run blast in Game 6 in Atlanta that, Dodgers couldn't come back from. And he had a bunch of other clutch hits. So you had Jock against the Brewers, you had Rosario against the Dodgers, and then the other unsung hero ends up being Jorge Soler that, the Royals didn't want anymore. And he hits a couple of bombs, and then he had that one that went out of Houston's park. I'm like, how the hell did he hit it that far in the first place? Like, like that was a moonshot. It went
Right.
that carried 560 feet towards the train tracks. That was that was a rocket shot. But it reminded me so much of what the Eagles were able to do, that in the face of adversity, when a bunch of people are telling them no, that you can't do this, they put it behind them, or they put it to the wayside and ignored it. And like, we still have something special here, and let's not let anything get in the way. The Braves did the same thing in a similar face of adversity, and that's why this World Series run was, to me, as special as the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. So to me, it means that much more.
Yep. And congrats again. At least one of your teams is doing good, right? Well, I mean, to be fair, Dallas is pretty competitive as far as basketball goes.
Yeah.
For the Eagles, we kind of have.
But let's not discuss the Philadelphia Eagles right now, Birdman. Let's just not discuss them.
Yeah, we're midway, man. We have to do it, man. But I don't know if. What's your take on what's been going on so far with our Philadelphia Eagles? Like, do you see this continuing into the second year, or some changes got to be made? Not so much on the players, but coaching and general managers. You think if we continue this path, something's got to give?
Well, I don't know that there's going to be a lot of coaching changes. Specifically, if I had to make a couple, I don't know, and this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but I don't know if Jonathan Gannon's going to get fired after this year. I don't see it. as well as the head coach, of course, Nick Sirianni. The only one of the guys that I don't like right now on this coaching staff is Nick Rallis, the linebackers coach, because I just don't know if he's doing enough to
Our
help these
linebackers
guys,
look like
help these
dog
guys progress
crap.
a level. I
Yeah.
just I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, he's still young enough to play in the NFL, and I just feel that in the beginning of the off season, I thought that him having a similar kind of youthful mind would be good for some of these guys to have that feeling, that he's old enough to play with us, and it's like another player on the field and yada yada. But that's at a position with the lack of talent that they have. That's not what you need as far as a coach goes. So I don't know if a guy like Nick Rallis would last. But I'm not going to go there just yet with Jonathan Gannon. I'm not going to go there with Nick Sirianni, just for the sole fact that if we were complacent, and if we were comfortable with giving Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz a second year to see how they improve on things, then they should be able to do the same thing with Jalen Hurts and Sirianni. It's only fair, but that kind of fairness at times won't get you very far in the NFL, because it's a win now type of atmosphere, especially
Yep.
this day and age how um, with how much better the talent continues to get through each draft class. Like these players coming in at their talent levels and the amount of athleticism that they have. So with the situation that the Eagles are going through right now, they're kind of it's almost like a rock and a hard place to me. Because the fan base is so torn on what they want to do with Jalen Hurts. Do they want to give up on him and go for a guy like Matt Corral, or Matt Coral, however you say his last name?
Corral.
Because some of the Eagle scouts were at that game watching him play. Um,
Yeah.
and could with the amount of first round picks that we have, it's very enticing that we could go after another quarterback. But
Yep.
if you know Jalen Hurts has what it takes to be able to continue to translate his game from collegiate to NFL level, then shouldn't you worry more about improving the group that's around him, instead of necessarily hitting the reset button with a different quarterback and still having the same issues carried into next year? I don't think the Eagles would. Um, I don't think it would benefit the Eagles to be in that situation once again. So
And you know what, Lindy? This is where everything just kind of fell apart. You basically slapped the Eagle fans in the face, and you refused to run the ball. And now we're near towards the end of the season. Now
yeah.
you're like, let me get Jordan Howard because Miles got
Hmm.
hurt, and let's run the rock with him a little bit, and let's see how that works. And it's like, dude, we are Eagle fans watching our team, and we could have said, duh, we could have told you that. And it's like, I feel like we're ass backwards. And now you're giving us a limited time and put all this pressure on Jalen Hurts, and you gave him 75% of the offense. I mean, what kind of flower guy is this? Like, you're talking about growing and all that. Well, why didn't you go back to basics? After you beat Atlanta, the recipe was there. Yes, Brandon Brooks got hurt, but the same concept was right there. You run the rock and you ease it into Jalen. So you're gonna wait to the mid-season, near the end of the season, to start doing that. And now I'm being hard pressed on Jalen because I know what's in stake right here. Because if he continues to have, meh games, or he just keeps missing open guys, you know damn well how he's gonna go get a coach. I don't care where he's. I mean a coach. I mean a quarterback. He is going to get a quarterback, no matter what. Because if he, I don't think this organization is saying, you know what? Well, if Jalen's not that great, Minshew's going to be the new deal. You're not going to sell that to the fans. There's just no way. The seats in Lincoln Financial are getting empty, and other fan bases are going to Lincoln Financial, and they're taking over. When has that happened? The fans are losing faith in the organization. I can't put that all on Jalen Hurts. It's on Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman, because they said we're a pass-heavy team. And no, we're not, because Jalen Hurts is not pass, 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 pass. So you sold us Flower Boy from the Colts, and what did he do good over there was run the rock. That's all he was talking about off season, and now look at us. We're backwards.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because of the conflict that we're dealing with right now between, to me, between what the head coach wants to do and what the owner is looking for in terms of the vision of his football team. And we've seen this before, when Doug Peterson was here, and to this day, Jeffrey Lurie still puts an emphasis on what he likes in terms of his football team, where we've heard this in the offseason where he says that his vision is having a high-powered offense, and of course he would mention Kansas City, because what's Andy Reid about? A high-powered offense. So
right.
When he's got a gunslinger in Patrick Mahomes, and he's got guys like Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, who are mismatches down the field. I think that's where I think that's where a line is drawn, that unfortunately, in a sense, kind of limits what Sirianni thinks he can do. As far as running the ball, or passing the ball. But man, I had another point on it, and I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Maybe you can remember. So you know what, too, Lindy? You know what sucks as an Eagle fan? When you see ex-Eagle players go to another team and they're freaking on a highlight reel, dude. I am sick and tired of that. Like, something is up. How does Zach Ertz go from being so, he won a Super Bowl with his Zach Ertz, and he freaking goes to the Cardinals, and dude looks like a stud. I know it was one play. I don't know what he's doing right now, but you know how irky that is. And then in Green Bay, I got to see Rasul Douglas getting an interception to save the game. Dude, that stings, because I'm like, that means the organization is putting the wrong coaching in here after the Super Bowl, because now they won the Super Bowl. They're Mr. Know-It-All. And how do you win a Super Bowl and don't know how you got there?
Definitely. I mean, that's also saying, like, if you could do this in whichever team you're on, why can't you do this in Philly? It's like saying it that way.
I mean, to be fair, Rasul Douglas didn't have to do much for the interception, because AJ Green completely whiffed on the communication with Kyler Murray. And if I'm not mistaken, Rasul Douglas has been on the Packers practice squad, so it's not like he's making strides.
It's not that. It's just my point being is, he freaking saves the day, dude. He saves the day. And then like, you'll see Sidney Jones once in a while. You'll even see what's the guy that's what is it, Kendricks, that's on the Cardinals? Or no, not Kendricks.
Jordan Hicks.
Hicks, you'll see.
He's still a player. Yeah.
Now Nelson Aguilar goes to the flipping Raiders, and what is this?
not to
Now he's on the
not to
freaking
mention.
Patriots, bro.
Well,
he
and
had a
not to
decent year
mention
for
too,
Vegas,
man.
but when he got to New England, he went back to Nelson
Nelson
Dropulog.
Butterfingers.
So I mean,
Yeah.
he's still dropping passes, and he's not. I mean, yeah, he's. He, I don't know if he's necessarily gotten better ever since leaving the Eagles because of how inconsistent he's been ever since he's gotten the NFL. He'll explode for a couple of games a year, and then at times he'll have about maybe 4 receptions for 50 odd yards, and some of them are important catches where he's moving the chains and whatnot. But other than that, he's never really been a jump off your screen type of receiver. So I'm not really worried about Nelly. I mean, the only guy that we can really attest to, in my opinion, is probably Jordan Hicks, that we shouldn't have gotten rid of. I mean, we could use him right now as a captain of this linebacking core, because he can still play even at, what is Jordan Hicks, like 29, 30 years old. I mean, him and Ertz are about the same age. So, but
And you want to know
yeah,
the other one,
man.
Lindy? You want to know the other one? Carson Wentz has a
Yeah, true.
formidable running game, and look how. I mean, he's not like blowing the roof off the stadium, whatever, and
No.
he's in the MVP running. But dude, do you see how simple it is? And I don't know why I keep. What's the head coach
Frank
on
Wright.
Colts? Okay, dude, Frank Wright. I mean, is he like the best coach in the world? I can't go there with it, but he makes it make sense. And we're over here like Beavis and Butthead, and we don't know how to run we can't even simplify it. Like, who had the bright idea of 70, or is it 85 or 75% for Jalen Hurts of the offense? Whose bright idea was that?
Yeah,
Because I like
I,
to
and
choke
I
the
was
shit out of him.
I was
And
about I was
also, I
about
mean,
to say that too.
you guys forgot two big players as well that we got rid of that we should have kept, and that's Jordan Poyer for the Bills and Micah Hyde. We had them both.
Hmm.
They were on the Eagles, and we let them go.
I
And
thought
look
you
at
were,
them.
And
I
then
thought
we
you
had
were going to put
They're
Amendola.
both
Malcolm
We
Pro
had
Jenkins in
Bowlers.
there
Amendola too,
too.
right?
Yeah,
Amendola too, right? He was one.
yeah. And also, we had Mostert.
Raheem Mostert, yeah.
Jeez,
All
man.
these guys, all this talent we've had, and we've let it go.
And AK, you imagine if we nailed the draft, if we have a Jefferson or a CeeDee Lamb or a Metcalf. Oh my God, dude! That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, something has to snap, dude. Like, I know I'm going hard at Jalen and all that. It's just because I know freaking Howie, dude. I know somehow, some way, he's gonna screw this up, and I'm just so sick and tired of it, man.
Now,
Yeah.
I answer this question though, real fast. We just said all these players that we just given away, and they've went on to be successful. So does that mean we know how to draft? We just are very fucking shitty at developing people.
Okay,
Well, it's
Did you
either
ever
that
think of it
or
that way? I mean, if you look at it, we've had
okay,
all these guys on our roster, which means we've actually hit very well. Because
well,
Poyer's an
it's
all
yeah.
pro, so is Micah Hyde. You know, Mostert's been doing well. You have all these guys out there, so we've been nailing it. We just can't develop them. We have to give
well,
them away for other people to do it.
yeah. I
And
think it
AK,
comes down to
could that
one of.
be? I was gonna say before you answer, lady. I was say, and AK, could that be because we're just not putting the right coaches in here? I think maybe we're just doing too much of
Precisely.
a merit. I think we have a
Mhm.
coaching factory. Maybe that's our freaking problem.
Well, it seems to me it could bracket to three things. Either what AK was saying. The second thing could be that you know whichever coaching staff is in place, they don't know how to use the players to their strengths, or they just give up on them too early. I mean, it could be one of those three things. But going back to what,
Whoever's coaching, whoever, not to cut you off, whoever's coaching Avante Maddox. Now, I'm very impressed the way Maddox has been playing.
oh yeah,
Uh,
well, he's
I don't know
back in
who
his
else he could
natural
throw it.
position too.
Right. So So it's very confusing, dude. But for the most part, the defense is very lacking. We basically let the quarterbacks. I mean, we can let's see what other who do we play? Bridgewater. I mean, watch us not touch Bridgewater. If we don't touch Bridgewater, they're probably gonna win the game.
Hey, and would it be fair enough to ask this question as well? Would you guys not be in favor of firing our wide receiver coach at the end of the year? Because listen, we had him last year. Now we've had him this year, and I really have not seen our wide receivers improve to the point
Nope.
where I can say, hey, they're going to be amazing here next year. I think we need to bring somebody better in. I've just never ever seen our wide receivers take a huge major jump before.
And
So
AK, we have one. Like I would say, I thought we had like one of the fastest offense with Quez, Devontae,
yeah,
and Miles, dude, and Jalen Hurts, dude. How do you not utilize the speed and scare the crap out of defenses? We're just like one-trick ponies. It's so stupid.
yeah, no, I agree.
You know,
So
it goes back to, well, that goes back to what I was saying in those three bracketed things that I brought up is, you know, maybe these guys just aren't being used right. You know, maybe it's more than just coaching, but um, but
Hey, Lindy, can
like
you do me a favor?
going back to what Birdman was talking about with the Colts and Frank Reich and everything and how it looks so simple, and that's what I was going to say. Like, I mean, we don't necessarily see that simplicity with this football team and making it easier on the players to be able to execute that it'll help them understand what they need to do. So and then it brought up the fact that I can in the time that I was away watching these games, I thought, well, I can only imagine how the rest of the Eagles community, especially content creators, and it got me irritated to watch the fact that, man, we're watching the Colts play the way that they are, and granted, they're not much better than us because they're that as their record shows, I think they're 4-6.
Yep.
So really, they're not much better, but you can also attest to that, to the competition that they have played up to this point. However, what I was getting at is what irritated me to watch how the Colts play is the fact that why can't the Eagles use Miles Sanders, or why couldn't they have used Miles Sanders the way the Colts used Jonathan Taylor? What's
Amen.
the like? What is the excuse that Sirianni has to all of a sudden now start to give the carries to Jordan Howard or Boston Scott, and then in moments that he utilized Kenny Gainwell more than Miles? Miles is that guy. What doesn't he see in Miles, or what doesn't Miles show on a daily basis or weekly basis, whether it's practice or games? What doesn't Miles show that doesn't give this coaching staff trust in him to be able to be that kind of back? Because I'm pretty sure Miles is talented enough to be a Jonathan Taylor like Jonathan is to Carson, or a Naheem Hines for that matter.
I got
Miles
the
is
I
that
got the
talented.
answer.
Why is it
I
that
got
difficult
the
to
answer.
use him in that regard?
Lindy, because Sirianni was fertilizing Miles Sanders all season. He's fertilizing him. He's letting him grow on the sideline. That's why.
Good to see you, Richie Mack.
In my opinion on that, I believe that decision to do what we did the first 6 games, and I told you, I think we went about it way the wrong way. This is definitely a season that it's all about evaluation. And the most one
Yeah.
being evaluated is Jalen Hurts, and I believe they wanted to see how far they could push this kid. Now, like I said, I believe they went about it way the wrong way, because if anything, you're hurting this kid by what you're doing. You're not helping him. But I just truly think they wanted to push him to see how far they could break, and he didn't break. And now you're seeing them run more, and they're trying to be smart about it now. But I won't lie, I believe that first 6 games was all about Jalen and his evaluation. You
Yeah.
know, and now you're seeing us run the ball 40 times. Now you're evaluating the halfback room. And then not just the fact that you were evaluating Jalen the first 6 games, but you're also evaluating your wide receivers at that point as well. So
yeah, it's just it doesn't make sense to me whatsoever,
it
because
doesn't.
you talk about now all of a sudden they try to balance the run in the pass game based on who their opponent is in said week, because it all comes down to the proficiency of your opponent's defense and how you feel that you can exploit them. But wouldn't you think it would make the most sense to evaluate a quarterback when your offense is performing at its absolute best? Because it shouldn't matter. Like it shouldn't matter in the case of, like, yeah, sure, you want to make things simpler for your quarterback in order to succeed. But
Mm-hmm.
if he is not seeing it in that simplicity, I think that would be a bigger problem than for you to make it harder on your quarterback and him not seeing it. You
No,
know
and
what
I
I'm
100%
saying?
agree with you. And you know what? We're normal people. That's why we think that way. Now, here's the thing, though. That's why I said I believe it was also about how far they could push him before he would crack. And that what he was doing is not normal. You don't run an offense 85% of the time through one person. To me, you're truly pushing this kid to his full limits, because that's a lot of the time that ball's in your hands.
And whatever,
So
dummy evaluates like that, you need to
yeah,
leave.
it's dumb
You
as
need to
shit.
leave. You
Yeah,
need to
it's
get
dumb
the
as shit.
hell out of town. Because if you want to evaluate, you do that shit in the in the preseason games. You do
Yeah,
that shit in the preseason, and you didn't even let
yeah,
Jalen even touch the field that much, except for I think 2 plays or some shit that was. You evaluate
yeah,
then. You don't do your evaluation on first 6 weeks. So
and
whatever
that's why.
idiot said that, get out of here.
Well, no one said it. That's just my opinion. Because
But
I'm
you could
just.
be right though. AK, you
I
could be
could be.
right.
I could be, and that's the thing, and that's why I started out by saying, if that's what they did, they completely went the wrong way about it, because you're not only hurting us and our team, but you're hurting him as well, because you're not giving him a fair evaluation at that point. How
And
can you
we
literally
knew
sit there and say he's the guy or he's not the guy when you're running 85% of the passes through him? That's not being fair. You can't do that, because who knows, when you start running the ball here and he gets accustomed to that, and these play actions start coming into play, and he might start progressing more. It's like, all right, well, who knows where he would be if you did that the first 6 games? Like you're only holding him back and putting handcuffs on him by doing the stupid shit you did the first week,
and
6 weeks.
you could
mean,
you
You know
could
what I
you
mean?
might as well have kept Carson Wentz. If you were gonna do the same thing, you could have kept Carson here, and we would have been in the same situation because you put it all on Carson once again with no run game. So I think at this point, it doesn't even matter who you put it. You could put freaking Joe Montana back there, but you're gonna make him throw the whole game. That's
Yeah.
that's a loser's mentality.
Well, and we all know you can't win football games without running the football. It's just, I mean, let's get this right. You can get lucky and you can win,
Well,
but you better have a solid fucking defense, which we don't. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
right.
if we had the Rams defense right now, well, we'd be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, throw
Right.
90 times a game if you want to. I don't give a shit. We'll be able to stop them 90% of the time. Eventually, you'll get lucky, but we
Yeah.
don't. You can't throw the ball 80% of the game and expect us to win. We're just not built that way. That's not what we're about.
Yeah. uh, while y'all two were going through your conversation, I thought about this as well. Is it fair to say? Is it fair to say that Carson got a fair evaluation in his rookie year,
Hell
knowing the
no.
lack of weaponry that he had and the kind of like wishy-washy of a run game between a Ryan Matthews that couldn't stay healthy and an older Darren Sproles. Was his rookie year necessarily a fair evaluation?
Well, and
Maybe.
I'm not even saying his rookie year, bro. I'm gonna say his whole career with us was not a fair evaluation for Carson
Well,
Wentz.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Like,
I mean, when you take JJ over DK and you take Rager over fucking Jefferson, that's not a fair evaluation. You know what I'm saying? Like you literally did nothing for this kid on the outside. You went with guys over hope, over definites. And to me, you already failed him when you did that. You know, if you wanted to truly sit here and say, well, we did everything we could for him, no, you fucking did not. Because if that's the case, DK would be on this team and Justin Jefferson would be on this team, and who knows what would have happened. But that wasn't the case because they did it wrong. And they're and that's what sucks about it is, everyone sits there and says that the coaches have the biggest egos in the NFL. No, the owners and GMs do, and they're never going to admit when they're fucking wrong.
Jerry
You know,
Jones.
so.
We
well,
literally are Jerry Jonesing right now. That's what I feel. We are Jerry Jonesing. That's what this is.
well, yeah. I mean, when it comes to owners and GMs, well, it stems from the owner down to the lesser personnel because it's what it's what their vision is in how they advertise their product for said organization. If Jeffrey Lurie is the kind of guy that wants an offense to have a ratio of 47 passes to 19 runs, then you can you can only do so much in that regard. But I think it's only going to at that point it's going to take it should only take a means of like losing a bunch of football games to realize that you know this isn't a winning formula and something has to change and maybe I have to change the vision of my football team and make better decisions and allow these coaches to coach and
Hey,
so
Lindy,
on, and so on and so forth.
It,
I know a YouTuber. I can't think of his name right now. Eagles fan, but he's met Howie Roseman, and he's actually refereed his sons and all that, his kids, and he says that he's a jerk. So
yeah,
if
Oh yeah.
he's a jerk, we got a huge jerk problem right now that Mister thinks he knows it all, and
Well,
I don't know. I mean, what he's doing to Jeffrey Lurie, but Lurie is buying the sack of bullshit that he's selling, and this is a problem, man. This is a huge problem.
if you want to get back to it being a winning organization next year, key to being that is one, Howie has to go immediately before anyone. Okay. Two, you got to, I would keep, if you fire Howie, I would keep JG and Nick and Hertz 1 year with a new GM. Use these draft picks the right way and in the smart way, how it should be done, and even the off-season
AK, let me stop you
acquisition.
real quick. AK,
Yeah.
okay, so if we get a new GM, right, and this guy, let's just say this is like the bee's knees. This guy is no bullshit. He's been taking care of organizations. This is a straight shooter, right?
Hmm.
If he wants to get like a new, head coach in here, right, that he knows he has the formula, doesn't that head coach have the right to kind of like put in his people as well, though?
Well, I
If
understand that
that was to
point, but
happen.
I'm on with Lindy. I still, even if you get a new GM, I still don't think that anyone's going to move on from the coaching staff yet. I mean, like he said, it's the first year. They deserve at least two or three. And in all hindsight, in the end, that's Jeffrey's decision. I mean, if he wants them here, it doesn't matter what the GM says, they're going to be here. And that was that Nick was a hire before a new GM. So coming in, that GM is going to know, hey, Nick's your coach. So, you have to be okay with that before I hire you. And I
Jeffrey
believe that's
Lurie
just
Jeffrey Lurie also is a businessman, and if he sees that the seats are getting empty and he's not charging these outrageous,
yeah, but that's
outlandish
not all on Nick.
prices.
That's not
No, no,
all
no.
on Nick, though.
I'm just saying, like, doesn't if okay, Jeff seeing the fan base is, I'm pretty sure he listens to the goddamn radio. Can you imagine all the
Mm-hmm.
gibberish that's going on there? And
Yeah.
and the fans, I mean, but we love this team so damn much that we're still going to the stadiums, and it's just because we love our fans. Like, if you love your
Mm-hmm.
fans, and that's a whole thing, that's a whole nother mecca. But the thing is, like, the other fans, you're not impressing them. You're not fooling anyone here. Jeffrey
Yeah.
Lurie knows that we are not dummies. We have a problem. So something has to click, man. Like, I
Well,
don't. It's crazy.
I made this statement the other week, and maybe fans are actually listening to our podcast. What's the one thing that Jeffrey cares about? And that's money.
Right.
If you protest the stadium and quit going to games for a few weeks, and everybody makes it known why no one's there watching the games on Sunday, and the seats are completely bare, and that's because we want Howie fired, you're going to get what you want, because
Right.
Jeffrey likes his money. And if he's not making money
Exactly.
because of one person, then that person will go because he wants his money back. When you start affecting this man's wallet, that's how you're going to get through to him. Right now, he doesn't give a fuck because you're giving him your money.
Right.
So what do you care whether or not he keeps Howie? Because he knows if he keeps Howie, you'll just be right back there next year. So if you protest games for a few weeks, yeah, that'll suck. But guess what? You'll get what the fuck you want. Just be smart about it. Don't be dumb. Don't do damage anything. Just don't go to games. Just protest sitting at home on your couch on a Sunday watching it instead of being there.
And you know what I can't stand? I don't like seeing opposing teams in the building. Like, when they're telling me about the Chiefs fans and the San Francisco fans, I was like, yo, something is up. That's rare. Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time all these other teams were showing up to the stadium.
But all you have to do is make it known publicly on YouTube, anywhere, that the reason that's going on is because Howie Roseman is still our GM. And trust me, that shit will spread like wildfire. And you know what? Jeffrey will hear it, and he'll take notice to it. And the more and more that it happens each and every week, he'll be fucking gone. Because, like I said, it doesn't matter how much he loves Howie. Doesn't matter. It could be like a son to him. If he ain't making money, he's fucking gone, man. Like, I'm sorry, but that's
AK,
how it
I don't
is.
know if I don't know if you saw this, but when we were in Las Vegas, we were about to score a touchdown. We're in the red zone, and E-Rock was recording this gentleman that was freaking reading the Wall Street Journal or whatever while we were about to score. He didn't care. He knew we were going to lose the game. I mean, you could see they were defeated. Once Miles was out, they were defeated. They didn't know what to do. And it's like that type of crap tells you that the fans are just, they kind of know what's going on. Like, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
Oh, and also, Lindy, to add to your fucking fair evaluation to Carson Wentz, man, you really got me on a kick tonight. I love it. No lie. I'm going to put this out there. Whether I get crucified or not, I don't give a fuck. But hands down, fair evaluation. Traded Miles Sanders and a second for D-Hop on this fucking team would have done it in a heartbeat because you could have found another halfback to take over Miles Sanders' place. But we needed a wide receiver so bad, you could have given them Miles Sanders and probably a fourth and got D-Hop for what the fucking Arizona Cardinals gave him. And if you wanted to be fair, you
Yeah.
would have went and got D-Hop for fucking Carson. And
Yep.
and I promise you that, and then you would have had, oh my God, fuck. You would have had DK, D-Hop, and fucking Justin Jefferson. If that ain't fair evaluation, I don't know what is.
Well, just remember when Deshaun Jackson went out, and before the trade deadline, there was a dude from the Jets. I can't think of his name right now, and he could
Oh,
have
Robbie
went.
Anderson.
Yeah, he didn't even do that for Carson, dude. He didn't do it.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like it's like I'm saying, man. Everything keeps steaming back to freaking Miss Smithers, right? AKA Roseman Smithers.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
I mean, you can't sit there and truly, honestly tell me that we're giving Jalen Hurts a fair evaluation. All right, listen, I agree. Our wide receiver core is good. They're better than previous years.
They're not using them properly.
Yeah, but they're not great. They're not great. Okay, we still need help. Like I said in Mitch's stream earlier with you, Lindy, I would love to get Olave and team him with Justin Smith or Devontae Smith, and dude, let them fucking just reap all over people, you know. But you need more help at the wide receiver core. I'm not convinced yet, man. I mean, yeah, we see the flashes, but he needs more help.
You just hit the nail on the head again. Why didn't you have a veteran? You could have got a veteran guy for this team. You could have done that. What? Oh my God! Like how much money were we gonna lose, dude? Really?
Yeah.
You could have got a veteran guy in here. Dude? Like I'm telling you, we're fans and we could tell, we could smell the shit from here. We could smell the fertilizer. And now they're smelling the fertilizer. Mr. Flower
Yeah,
guy.
I'm gonna send in my resume to Jeffrey, and hopefully I can get hired on.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll use all my videos as my credentials. Maybe he'll actually start listening.
I need Lindy out there, and I'll buy him all the highlighters he wants.
Hey, you know what we'll do, man, is if that would ever happen, we'll just make it a whole big fucking like 5 dudes running at one time. Because we all know what the fuck we're talking about compared to some of these guys.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, what? I mean, they wanted the young kids. They wanted the young kids to play, and you know, look what that's got them. Rager has been underwhelming. They can't seem to get Quez Watkins going. Arguably, Devontae Smith is the best receiver on this team as a rookie. You know, John Hightower only sees the field on special teams. They cut Travis Fulgham. What's his name?
JJ's injured.
I think.
I mean,
our
Jesus
Fagel
Christ,
Whiteside's only used for blocking anyway.
You could have called Des
Right.
Bryant. You could have called Des Bryant or something to even just help.
Hey, no lie, Lindy. How's that make you feel? We wasted a second round pick on a blocker.
I don't get it. I mean, how often have we heard about the Eagles' struggles with trying to find a possession receiver, and you know he was supposed to be that guy, and we still haven't seen it. Fulgham is gone, and who's that? Who's that other? You know, like where the hell is Hakeem Butler? Hakeem Butler went back to his natural position at receiver. He's like 6'4", 6'5". You know, he like where the hell is he if you want a possession receiver?
Or Walker.
The only time he's seen the field was as a tight end for some random play last year. That other receiver, I think his name is it Keyshawn Johnson that we got from the Cardinals?
No, it's Walker, isn't it? We have Walker on it.
I think Michael Walker got cut. Yeah,
Oh.
I don't think Michael Walker is here anymore. I mean, he like
thought he was.
You know, they're it's like they're just bringing in fillers. It's
Yeah.
like they're just a bunch of appetizers when you should really be paying attention to or focusing on the main course, because you're going to
Yep.
fill yourself you're going to fill yourself early before you get to dinner, and you just wasted your money. That's exactly what they're doing at the receiver position. I mean, personally, back in 2020, the guy I wanted for Carson, who was a cheap option, and he was coming off of a decent year of helping Tom Brady before he left for New England. I wanted Philip Dorsett. I thought he would have been a really good fit for the role that he could have had for this team. He ends up going to Seattle. He doesn't do much for Russell Wilson. He seems to fall out of the lineup because it was all about DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. And yeah, Dorsett was there every now and then, but he reminded me as a guy that could have filled that Torrey Smith kind of role. That is, he's a good route runner, but he doesn't have the greatest top end speed, but he can still run by people on occasion. I thought Philip Dorsett would have been a great fit last year, and he could have been a guy that you could have had on a 2-year deal, and he still possibly would have been here. He wasn't that old. He was only about 28, 29. So I don't understand why, in this offseason that we couldn't get that kind of veteran free agent receiver. But no, it was all about, well, let the kids play. They got to grow, they got to develop. Well, that's not going to necessarily happen if the quarterback is growing with them. Yeah, we wanted the same thing for Carson, but Carson was already established. It's a little more difficult when Jalen Hurts is coming into a season where he's only played X amount of games in 2020 because of the implosion, and he's still trying to learn for himself what it's like to be an NFL quarterback. You can't have a bunch of kids around him trying to learn at the same time. You need a veteran to take him along, and only having Zach Ertz at the tight end position wasn't going to cut it.
Like no lie, bro. I would go as far to saying too is, I at this point I wouldn't have minded trading for AJ Green back at the off season. I mean it would have been a veteran presence. He's a great minded character, in the locker room. He could have taught Devontae Smith a lot, you know. He could have helped Watkins. He could have helped all of these guys. And like I said, that's what we need, and we need a veteran consultant coach as well for these guys.
Lindy,
There needs to be some veteran
And
leadership on this team.
Robbie Anderson was available at 1.2 in free agency, and Howie
Yeah.
wouldn't cough up the money for him. And now
Julio Jones.
look what he's doing in Carolina because his quarterback's terrible. He's he got paid in Carolina, and now because Sam Darnold is still Sam Darnold, he's not doing anything over there.
It
and
could
you know
have had
what,
Julio
Lindy?
Jones, man.
Yeah, that's another one. Lindy, check this out. If the Eagle fans would read between the lines, we've been getting, messages about this whole thing. Malcolm Jenkins should not be a Saint. He should still be an Eagle. You don't
Yep.
let players go like that. And even Chris Long. That's why Chris Long left. He probably could have played one more year, but they were telling us what was going on. They've been telling us, but I think outside people are listening though, because you're hearing that the coaches don't want to come here because of Howie. So it is even what was the guy Frank Gore? Remember, the Sean
Yep.
McCoy supposedly said, "Don't go to Philly, don't go to Philly," and guess what? He didn't go to Philly.
And I don't even want to bring this name up, but remember
Bring
2
it.
years ago, fucking Orlando Scandrick, when he was on Skip
Yeah,
and Shannon, he talked all that shit and we all
yeah.
crucified him for it. We're like, that's bullshit. Well, now you're starting to see that come to fruition, and now he
Well,
wasn't
I don't
lying.
like
So,
Scandrick because he was talking shit on Malcolm and shit. Like he was trying to.
yeah.
I
But
didn't
I'm
like him for
saying,
that
like,
shit.
he also talked about, like, the dysfunction and shit. And that part he was right about,
Yeah.
It goes deeper
That's
than
right.
what we all know. It truly
Well,
does.
especially for
So
calling Howie
AK,
a weasel.
we actually need a priest in Lincoln Finance. We need it. We need holy water. We need to get an exorcism. We need to. There's and that might be going to how. I think we have to go to Howie's house with the priest, and just we gotta exorcise the demon and get him out of there, man. The
What
power
up,
of
Joey?
Christ compels you.
What up,
What's
Joey?
going
Good
on,
to see
Joey
you in here,
Shakes?
man. It's it's been quite a long time since I've been on YouTube, and I'm sure you're aware of that as well. But I appreciate you hopping in here. On your seem you're on your second vacation for the year. Yeah, and enjoy all the relaxation you're getting, man. But um, Joey Shake says, theory: if Eagles land Odell, there would be a plan in the mix for a quarterback trade next year. Parentheses Russell Wilson. So I mean, yeah, well, I guess extending on that theory, what I was thinking about earlier was saying that Howie has wanted Russell Wilson for the longest time, and at a point in time he thought that getting Jalen Hurts would be the next best thing. Well, you know. Don't you think that he would be enticed if Russell Wilson was on the table for a
Oh yeah,
trade
he
that he
is.
would try to go for him? But the only problem I have is, isn't Russell Wilson like 32 or 33 years old at this point? And I, you know, as great as he is, I don't know how much he has left to be able to play at such a high level. Because again, the Eagles would be hitting the reset button, especially from the quarterback position. So, Russell Wilson would have to like the coaching staff that's in place. Does he like the system? Does he like the personnel around him? Is he okay with Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman running the show? Like, so on and so forth. So, I mean, a trade like that, I think, would get a lot more sensitive and a lot more complicated because you trading for a guy like Russell Wilson, you have to make him as happy as possible. So, do we trust Howie Roseman to be that kind of guy in place to satisfy a guy like Russell Wilson? I personally don't think so. And if the Eagles ever landed Odell, which they're probably not going to anyway,
But
since he cleared waivers. And I doubt Odell would want to sign in Philly when he can go to a contender. Like, it's rumored so far that one of the, you know, one of the one of the destinations that Odell would prefer to go to is Green Bay. I personally don't think that's a good fit for him because you're gonna have to ask Aaron Rodgers to split the receptions between Odell and Devontae Adams. So I mean, Devontae Adams has been Aaron Rodgers' guy for years upon years, and those two go together. So if Aaron Rodgers ever leaves, then you have to imagine Devontae Adams is going to go with him. So, I mean, I don't know if I like the fit in Green Bay. And if those two leave, do you think Odell's going to want to stay with a guy like Jordan Love and in that organization with Matt LaFleur? I don't see it. Do I see him
Lin-
in Vegas for the Raiders? That could very well be possible. They could use a number one receiver. They can move Hunter Renfro back to his natural position. They don't have, that gives another threat on the field for Derek Carr. So that takes stress off of Hunter Renfro and Darren Waller, and they can get the run game better going with Josh Jacobs or Kansas City, a team like that. Excuse me, but yeah,
Lindy,
I I
Lindy, let me
don't
ask
see
you something,
Odell
Lindy.
coming here.
Lindy, if Russell Wilson becomes a Philadelphia Eagle, I know it's a far shot and blah blah blah. I know that. I am a happy man as an Eagle fan. Now I know many people won't like that, but let me tell you what a Russell Wilson does to the organization. That puts fans back in the seats because who doesn't want to see Russell Wilson versus Dak Prescott? And
Sure.
depending on who else want, I think if we can go over that, I think people are going to want to play for Russell Wilson, and maybe that opens up for Miles Sanders and all this other stuff. But I rather stick it out for 5 years with the Russell Wilson. But the only scary part is that if Nick Sirianni cannot figure it out with Jalen Hurts, which is a mobile quarterback, then how is Russell Wilson's talent gonna supersede Nick Sirianni's defect or his downside? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. That's the only thing
Well,
that would worry me if you bring in a Russell Wilson, which is a mobile quarterback. He's a dual threat, and he's Nick Sirianni's not making it happen with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it working the other way around where the the quarterback being the veteran is teaching the the young head coach. Like you see it everywhere where whether it's Andy Reid with Patrick Mahomes or the who is it for the Chargers? Brandon Staley, or
Herbert.
whether it was Anthony Lynn before him with Justin Herbert, or Sean Payton with Drew Brees. You can go down the line of veteran head coaches to young quarterbacks. I don't think you necessarily see it the other way around a lot, where Russell Wilson is going to have to teach Nick Sirianni. I don't know. I don't know how that kind of imbalance would work as far as
Right.
as far as that perspective goes. So, I mean, like I said, going back to what I was saying before, if you do this kind of trade, Russell Wilson, you're going to have to make him as happy as possible. Like, is he going to be satisfied with the organizational structure? Is he going to be satisfied with the personnel? Like, what is he going to want in order to make him happy? And I don't know with
I think
I don't
Jeffrey
know
will see
with
dollar
the
signs.
well,
They will
yeah,
see dollar
but I
signs.
just don't know with the front office people that we have in place will be enough to satisfy a guy like Russell Wilson if we already have as
They're
much.
gonna have to. They're gonna have to.
Well, okay,
Well, well,
well then,
well.
so that begs the question then. Okay, so that begs the question from previous quarterbacks that the Eagles have had. If they are willing to go, if they're willing to go to you know, like to the ends of the earth for a guy like Russell Wilson. Why couldn't they do the same thing for Carson Wentz? Why couldn't they do the same thing for Jalen Hurts or other quarterbacks prior to Russell Wilson? Then you're going to hear those questions, especially pertaining to if Howie Roseman is still in office. Like you're never going to hear the end of it. If they're able to do this for Russell Wilson, why couldn't they do this for previous quarterbacks?
Well, and the one thing I want to bring up too is the Russell Wilson thing. If you want Russell Wilson, and I know Birdman, you're not too fond of this, but I say it anyway because I'm gonna let Lindy hear it. Like you said earlier, they drafted Jalen Hurts because they saw a lot of Russell Wilson in him. Jalen Hurts is 22, 23 years old. I mean, he's
Yeah.
just a baby yet.
Yeah.
And he's never really truly been molded. And like I told you, he came in unpolished. He's not a polished quarterback by any means. He's got a lot to work on, but if you're patient with him, he could be a pretty dangerous weapon, really, truly.
I don't
And
think Russell
if
Wilson
that's
was
the
the most
case, and
polished out of
you,
college either.
yeah, it took Russell Wilson 2 years. It took Lamar 2. Josh Allen didn't develop right away.
Nope.
You got to take some time. And the thing is, like, if you want Russell Wilson, dude, just chill out with Nick for another. Let this run its course for 2 years, and hopefully he can develop his own Russell Wilson esque quarterback. I mean, he's
But
already got the
AK,
he's already got the developmental traits, as in athleticism and power and running. He can improve his arm. He can improve accuracy. You can improve that by how he's in the pocket and let him get comfortable. The only reason he's a scrambling quarterback right now is that's how he was coached in college. He was coached, take the ball, read your first read. If it's not there, use your legs and get out, because they knew in college his legs were dynamic. He's
AK,
never truly had to sit there and read defense. He's never really had to truly sit there and go through progressions. He has to learn this stuff, and it's you can learn it. You just gotta be patient, man.
No,
And it
Hurts is not
AK.
a
sucks.
Let me
pure
ask you
pocket
this. Let me
passer.
ask you
He's
this.
not.
Let me ask you
Yeah.
this. If Howie pulls off this magic
That's
trick, isn't that gonna only benefit Jalen Hurts working under Russell Wilson? Let's say they only do a 3-year deal with Russell or whatever. Isn't that only gonna make Jalen Hurts better staying here? I'm not asking him to leave.
No,
Wouldn't
I
that
understand.
be okay?
Yeah, no, I understand. Like, I guess it would be okay, but to me though, if you do that, in my opinion, you're only kind of stunting his growth because he's not playing. If you get what I mean. Like, I get
Okay,
it. He's getting the knowledge part of it.
Right.
Russell's teaching him knowledge wise, but you're only stunting his growth physically
I think we
as a
could have did that
football
with
player by
Carson
not
Wentz for a
playing him.
little bit. I think we could have did that with Carson while he healed, while letting Nick play for an extra 2-3 years, and then Carson takes over. I thought that was going to be a big deal, but it ended up being a big deal. But let me ask you this: what would you rather happen if these were the two options? If we could predict the future, would you rather have Howie Roseman go get this Matt Corral hypothetically, or Russell Wilson? What would you rather happen?
Neither. Because
You
personally,
gotta pick one.
What was the question?
Personally,
Okay,
I'm tired of hitting the
if you had
reset
the
button.
choice, Matt Corral, because that's what they're linking Howie with to get, because he's, we're gonna have a pretty much the number one pick.
Yeah,
Corral or Russell Wilson.
neither,
If those were your
because
two options.
no,
You
I
gotta
agree
choose
with
one.
Wayne. No.
You gotta
The
choose one.
reason that I say neither is because, listen, do you realize the cap hit that you're going to take with Russell Wilson? First off,
I don't. It doesn't
you have,
matter. I don't care.
and you have to you'll have to give up value to get Russell Wilson as well. We have too many holes on this team to fill defensively and offensively. If you give up draft picks for any quarterback, whether you draft him or you acquire him through a trade, you're only delaying this rebuild back another 3 or
Okay,
4
then
years.
which one would it be then? Which one would it be?
Neither. I'm rolling with Hurts. I've already said
No,
that.
but you
I'm
have
rolling with
to. I'm
Hurts.
telling you, if we know how he's going to do this, which one would you rather have him do? This is
I don't think
hypothetical.
Howie is gonna fucking do it. I think it's a smokescreen, man. How many times were we supposed to get Watson? We never did. How many times were we supposed to get Wilson in the offseason? We never fucking did. If you're gonna pull that trigger, you would have already done it. There is no bullshit walks and money talks. You know what I mean? So if they're gonna pull it, it would have done already. Seriously, Watson would be here if we wanted him. So would Wilson.
But Watson has, those allegations. That's a different story.
Yeah, but we all heard how bad Howie wanted him, right? That's what I'm saying. If Howie wanted him bad enough, he would fucking be here. If he wanted Wilson bad enough this offseason, he would have fucking been here. We know how he gets what he wants, and he's not going to stop until he does. He would have offered the farm for Wilson. If he did that, you know what? He would have got him, but he didn't do that because he doesn't. He might want him, but he's not going to do that. The man's stupid, but he ain't that fucking dumb, because that would put us in turmoil forever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know, okay, but answer the question though. Which one, if we know that's what he's doing, what would you rather have happen? Him just get that one draft pick that we already have, or we waste 3 draft picks, 2 this year, 1 next year, and whatever other else he throws in there for Russell Wilson? What would you rather happen?
How about a third option? Because there's way more different ways this can go. What about a third option? You take a low-round quarterback, let's say somebody that's projected maybe the 4th, 5th, or 6th, and use them as a backup. Or use them as a backup right now, and they can either turn into a cheap backup, which you keep around for the near future, or you can groom him in case Hurts may not be that guy. He can be a placeholder to figure out what you're doing. Maybe something like a Kenny.
No. You know what your only option is in this situation. You lead on next year with Hurts, okay? You build this team up. If Hurts starts sucking during the middle of the season, you throw in Minshew, because Minshew is your fucking backup. There's no need to draft a quarterback. You have a reliable backup. If Hurts can't handle it, you throw in fucking Minshew, you ride it out to the end of the year, and the following year you get your fucking quarterback. Because none of these quarterbacks right now make me feel any fucking way that I want to get rid of the guy we have under center at this moment.
Okay, but I carry a confidence in Kenny Pickett coming out of college, and not only that, I don't know exactly what Minshew's getting paid off the top of my head, but you bring in a late round guy, they're not getting paid much either. So either way, and you know how he likes to
It's
get
just a
quarterbacks
waste
in
of
there.
it's just a waste of a pick
It's a
to me.
Well, those late
Jordy.
picks usually won't pan out anyway. So what would you rather do? Grab a quarterback who can potentially be your future backup or problem solver, or roll with Minshew?
I would rather grab another position of need that could potentially turn out to be a star rather than somewhere where we already have a question mark that we still need to figure out.
Yes, I get
That's
it.
my whole point.
There's question marks,
Think of
but
this.
there's certain things you can do to free up a pick here and there. And not only that, why not bring in a quarterback that these coaches can develop by themselves that can be a placeholder, or a backup, or something for now? Why
Go
not?
ahead, Lindy.
You have
Well,
nothing to lose.
think of this. I got three things to what Jordy is talking about right now. You have two quarterbacks on your roster right now that you can still develop. Gardner Minshew is not done yet, and neither is Jalen Hurts. Those two are still perfectly capable of being developed. That's one. Two, Jalen Hurts was also projected to be as late as a fourth round pick. So the Eagles last year spent a second on him because they thought of the potential of what he was coming out of college. A Heisman runner-up. He was very good at Oklahoma. He led Alabama on those title runs in the absence of Tua Tagovailoa. So he played for two of the top premier collegiate football teams. They liked all of that about him. They took a risk in spending higher draft capital on a guy that they thought that they could develop to be that next mold of a Russell Wilson-esque quarterback. If Howie and Jeffrey Lurie couldn't get the real thing, they can try and make almost a carbon copy of him.
Hey, and please say what you said earlier. Please say what you said
Number three.
earlier on Mitch's stream. Do you remember?
Wait.
Who, Lindy?
Number three.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Lindy. Please
What?
say what you said earlier on Mitch's stream. He wasn't a Heisman runner-up for no reason.
Yeah, he wasn't. He was the runner-up next to Chase Young, who had the prolific defensive season that he did for what was it, the Ohio State? So I mean, yeah, you know all this, it's getting ridiculous. So here's number three with the talk about Russell Wilson. Do we remember why Tom Brady left the Patriots? Do we remember why? Because Bill Belichick refused to put more personnel around him for Brady to succeed at an easier level than him having to continue to carry the franchise with lesser talent because he's done it for so many years.
I thought it was because Garoppolo. I thought it was because of that.
Well, that too. But what I talked about was one of the bigger premises. So
Okay.
with that in mind, us knowing the construction of the Eagles right now, do you really think Russell Wilson is going to want to come into this kind of situation? No, especially not with a defense that can't hold anybody to under 30 points other than the Chargers and maybe the Falcons. Who else have the Eagles held under the 30 points that I can't think off of the top of my head? He's not going to want to come to a team that is that imbalanced right now. He's going to want to go to a team that's on a rise to show the blueprint of being a contender consistently, like Odell wants to be in his situation as a receiver. So if we don't have the personnel or the weaponry to satisfy Russell Wilson in that regard, why do you think he's going to accept a trade to come here? Is he just going to base it off of broken promises from Howie Roseman? No, he's not going to do that.
But like you said, if they butter up this deal and they work something out, the Eagles have the chance right now. Now, I don't think they'll have this chance next year or even the following year. We have the chance to pretty much get whoever we want right now, I think.
Just because it seems like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity doesn't necessarily mean that you have to take it, especially the fact of the amount of belief that they have in Jalen Hurts to especially spanning back to 2020, to be as comfortable as they were to bench their franchise quarterback that they paid $130 million to. Now, granted, a lot of that was on the quarterback themselves, but they still had to make the decision to bench him to insert the quarterback that they spent a second round pick on, throw his feet to the fire against one of the best defenses at that point in his first game after the Packers game. You know, I don't know how else to put it.
You know what the trouble too is, Lindy, is that I don't have confidence in this coaching. I don't.
Well, that's one thing, but my point is that I want I want this organization, in terms of the quarterback position for what we've went through recently, I want them to try and fulfill an investment. That's what I want to see. Hurts was projected to be like as late as a fourth round pick. They spent a second on him, knowing that they had their franchise quarterback on their roster. Fulfill your investment. See what he is. Like you're gonna give up on him after not even a season and a half as far as development goes. If you think that he can fit that mold of Russell Wilson, if you think that he can do it, he's how much younger is Jalen Hurts to Russell Wilson right now? At least 10 years. You don't think if with that much belief that you have in somebody to
but it goes back to the coaching, Lindy. It's not.
Well,
that I
then
don't
just
believe
change
in
the
him.
coach. Then just change the coach.
Well,
I wish I
if
could.
you change the coach, then you change.
Or
If you change the coach, then you change
or
the
maybe
philosophy.
adding better coaching.
I agree.
If we can add better coaching, that might make me sleep better at night. But the thing too, okay, let me ask you guys, how many throws should Jalen be doing per game?
I would
20 to
say
25 probably.
I would say
That's where
anywhere from
I'm
I would
good with that.
I would say anywhere from 23 to 27.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you guys this. If they continue to hold him down to under 16 throws, is that a problem?
Well, no,
Yeah,
not in this
problem.
case. Not for the last two games because they just went up against two of the
Going
worst
forward,
run
though,
defenses.
going forward, though, going forward. If they
Oh,
keep limiting them to him like 16 passes, I got a problem
I,
with that.
Yeah. I would
yeah.
think anybody I would think anyone would have a problem with that because that's showing us that they don't trust their quarterback to throw the football.
Okay. And okay,
Yeah.
this Denver game is going to tell me a lot, I think, because if they keep them under that, knowing that they're going to go after a run attack, and they're not going to let Jalen throw it, this is going to be this. You think we've seen bad football? I think this is going to be even worse because if they're not going to let him throw it, we're going to get cooked.
I just want you to remember one thing, man. It's really easy, and I know it's only normal for the QB to take the brunt of everything, whether if it's not his fault or not. It's just how it works, and I understand that. And a lot of people, man, they get on me. They're like, God, you're going to defend this kid till he's gone. Well, yeah, he's my quarterback. I'm going to. He's the quarterback of my team, so I have to, and I have to believe what they believe. Because if I don't, then I've already lost. But
It's more for like AK. Like I'm with you. I'm backing up Jalen. It's just I'm being hyper critical because
yeah,
I'm looking for our future. I want a quarterback that is going to be here for 10 years.
and I think you got that. My whole point. I get that, but that's my whole point. If you would have, like, for instance, if you give Jalen Hurts this year, say New England's defense, we win a couple more games that we were in this year. Okay, because we would actually have a defense that can intercept passes and that can stop offenses. Okay, you look at how crappy we have been as a team, and then you look at Jalen Hurts' season stats so far. He hasn't done bad. with what he has to work with, his stats are pretty fucking good, man. And that's the thing I look at. If he's doing this good with limited talent that we have, and even if it's not limited talent, just shitty fucking play
and
calling,
stupid,
and
yeah,
if
and
he's
stupid
yeah,
coaching.
and if
Yeah.
he's making that good of stats on shitty fucking play calling, imagine what this kid will do with a solid number one wide receiver that's a veteran and a head coach with more than a year under his belt now, who actually gets the fucking game and how to call a game. You know, like I said earlier, these guys have to take their lumps if you want them to be successful. You know, like it just like Jalen said, Rome wasn't built overnight, and I love that saying because you know what, he understands it takes time, and that's also why I want him to be my head QB. You know, he's the first one
But
I've
the
heard in a long
but you
time
you
just sit
you
up
want to
there
know
and
what
say it's
sucks,
on me.
AK? You know
You
what
know,
sucks, AK? Is that
yeah,
I'm with you with everything you just said. But you know where the slap comes from is because Nick Sirianni, he was saying awesome things to us, and what
hmm
was gonna happen, and
well,
then that happens, and
yeah,
it's like it's not I can't it's not all on Jalen. I get that, but it's like I'm just dealing with what this is what you know. These are the building blocks. Nick
no,
sold us this. Yeah,
and
go
I
ahead.
agree with you. You know, I said that earlier a couple weeks back. You know, I I felt lied to a little bit. You know, but in all, I'm going to say I believe he had every good intention when he said it. I believe he does feel that way about this team, you know, but the belief was so strong, we even believed it. You know, the way he talked, the way he delivered his messages at the beginning of the year of how much energy he brought. And, you know, you saw it in the players, you seen it in the coaches, and we all just gravitated towards it, you know. And then when it didn't work out the way we all thought it would, including them, now they're kind of sitting there scratching and trying to figure it all out, you know. And I don't understand why they're making it so complicated on themselves.
And AK, why would you sit or not play Miles Sanders, dude? Doesn't you know how hard it is for defenders to stop Jalen, stop Miles, stop, when we had Ertz and Goddard, and I could go on and on. Why wouldn't you have that presence out there? Why would you be like, you know what? I'm gonna, you know what, Miles, just take this one off. If we get in trouble in the fourth, we'll give you a call. This, and I feel we should have beat San Francisco. What other
Yeah.
game were we close? We could have pulled off Tampa
Yep.
and maybe another one in there, but I'll just say two more games added, right? And
Yeah.
technically we should have beat the Chargers. Now,
Yeah.
I'll take what we did against the Chargers, but for me, I'm upset because why weren't we doing this earlier? And then now you're confusing me when I know the run defense wasn't great, and I know that's why we're running heavy. So this game to me in Denver is going to be really important because
hmm
if they keep doing that, I'm going to keep Jalen at 14, 14, 16. I'm going to be really ticked off. I'm going to be
Yeah.
even more pissed off.
Just remember, man, when it's all said and done, just remember how shitty this team was this year, and remember to look at his stats, and that'll tell you all. You know, I mean, I believe he's like, what's his Lindy? Can you pull up his stats right now? I think he's at like 1,700 yards passing. I think last time I checked, he was 13-4. That was total rushing and passing touchdowns and with
Mhm.
4 interceptions. But I think he's at 1,700 yards. I don't know what his touchdown is now. It might be 14 or 15.
Okay. This year he boasts a record of 3-6. We know that.
hmm
I know he has equivalent numbers to Josh Allen. I saw that stat somewhere.
He has 11 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Completion percentage is 62%. 1,981 yards. Let's see if we get more detailed. Okay, here we go. He's 168 for 273, 61 and a half completion percentage. That's basically 62.
What's his QBR? It's like 88.2, isn't it?
No, his passer rating or QBR because they're different.
Well, what are both of them actually? Yeah, they both
QBR.
matter.
I only have QBR on Pro Football Reference. I don't have passer rating, but
Oh.
QBR on or actually I do have passer rating. QBR on a scale of 0 to 100, he's right at the cusp of average at 49.4. So he's been average. I think that's what we pretty much have asked for out of
Yeah.
him, especially with a first year head coach, first year defensive coordinator. Um, Shane Steichen as the offensive coordinator, Kevin Patullo as an offensive assistant. You can go on and on. New tight ends coach and yada yada. Um, Passer rating is 91. Yards per game, he's at 220. Average yards per attempt is 7.4. His actual yards is 7.3. His longest pass was 91 yards. Yeah.
And he had
really.
at least 5 or 6 touchdowns come off the board, right? Or was it 7?
It was 7 touchdowns coming off the board, and he also
Yeah.
has like 4 rushing touchdowns or something like that to add on to his 11 passing. So, it's one of those things. He's damn near at 2,000 yards. He's already at 15-4 ratio. He's got a 91% passer rating. Like, that's pretty damn good to me. For what he's got to work with, those stats are pretty fucking good.
Damn, really, really, laptop. We're gonna do this right now.
I mean, and then
Trying to
and
slow
to
up
be
on me.
fair, if Howie, I guess, doesn't do something, I mean, I don't even know how. I think either way, he might be doing something stupid here, but him picking this draft just really makes me nervous too, man.
Now I have to ask you, Birdman. Now, hearing those stats and stuff, does that make you feel a little bit better
No,
about Hurts,
I seen,
even with how crappy
yeah.
it is?
This is where I'm at with the whole thing with Jalen. I I don't know how this is going to work with Sirianni and the quarterback's coach and whoever else has anything to do with Jalen. That's my problem because I'm already benched Jalen because not because of Jalen because I don't trust his coaching. So I don't know at this point what do I do?
The other
Yeah,
thing I've
well,
noticed here is that Hertz doesn't necessarily take a lot of sacks. Up to this point, he's only been sacked 15 times. That's not a lot. So his percentage of times being sacked, um, out of the amount of offensive snaps that he's been taken, is only 5.2%. We know somebody that used to be the quarterback that got sacked a lot more than Jalen Hurts has, up to this point so far. And for reference, he started 4 games in his rookie year. He started 4 games.
yep.
Out of those 4 games, he was sacked, I think, 13 times. In 9 games, he's been sacked 15 times. So I mean, he's already at the point where he's sensing when to leave the pocket. That's good pocket awareness. That's one positive that you can take from him so far. It's just, he's still early in the development stage, and to this point, I still think it would be a mistake to move on from Hurts at the end of this year and hit the reset button all over again because you still don't exactly know what you have in Jalen Hurts, and
Yeah.
you may have something here, but the only way you
Diamond in the rough.
out, the only way you find out is to give him a chance. You have to give him a chance. You have to give your head coach a chance. You have to give everyone else that is new on this coaching staff a chance. Well, maybe minus Nick Rallis because he's on the hot seat for me right now. But you know, yeah,
If they
man,
take Lindy, if they take his passing away though, because they feel that's the problem, then what does that leave us with?
I don't,
If they do that,
I don't know, I don't know if they're taking the pass away solely because I don't know if they're taking the pass away solely because of him. I think it's, Sirianni taking the pass away because he doesn't necessarily understand yet. I don't know if he I don't know if he's good enough. Um, I don't know if he's good enough knowledge wise in working with the kind of quarterback that Jalen Hurts is. I still think that Sirianni is trying to figure Hurts out as much as Hurts is trying to figure out his head coach and the speed of the NFL in terms of play calling and executing an offense. And that's kind of a double negative right now, if you will, if you want to put it that way. But again, those are the growing pains that if you have
hey,
patience, you have to
Eh, eh,
work through in order to see the final product.
Well, and
Lindy.
also Birdman
Oh,
too. You have to think of this as well. This is probably what our offensive line wants. I mean, if you
Yeah.
think about it, these guys are the most veteran experience that we have on our offense is our offensive line. That's where all our vets stand. I mean, even Lott is considered a vet because he's been here 5 years.
right.
Johnson, Kels, all these guys, and Dickerson, he's doing good. And we all understand it's a lot easier to run block than it is to pass block, and they probably have went to Nick and said, "Hey, put it on us. We're your experience. Let us lead this." And if that's the case, I'm okay with that. If that's what our players want, but they all have to buy into it.
Here's
Yeah.
another confusing thing, guys. Is didn't we learn our lesson by not having an offensive coordinator call the plays? Why are we putting it all on a rookie head coach? I'm confused on that.
I think Steichen's actually doing more than what you think. I saw
Well,
him on
yeah,
the
it's
sideline during the last game. Like he had that playbook over the mic, and he was sitting there, and dude, he was jabbering away many times. So,
yeah, it's
I think that's why we're running more too, because Steichen's doing more.
yeah.
I believe this is a little bit of him.
Think so?
I don't think it's solely on the head coach. I think it's like I think it's a hydra working there, between
Yeah.
Sirianni, Steichen, and Kevin Patullo, I think is getting in the mix as well. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real here. Would we rather have Press Taylor on that staff right now with play calling? No, absolutely not. So
No.
I'm glad he's not here. I'd rather have something to build on than continue to do the same thing in repetition, like the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So yeah, man. I mean, but you know, I know we're in the midst of good conversation here, but as with any good conversations or good streams, time flies, and I'm already at over 3 hours. I didn't expect to last this long, especially so I got another day of work tomorrow to look forward to, and you know, I guess with that I will. I will conclude my
Well,
comeback stream. I guess
can I
so.
ask you one good question real fast before you go? It will only take 2 seconds. 2 seconds, because I need your opinion. All right. So can we all agree to this? The smart move for us probably this offseason would be to fire Howie, bring in a new GM, and instead of getting rid of this coaching staff, just hire a veteran consultant to help these guys develop as coaches, to help our young players develop as players. Start developing our own instead of trying to go out and get other people's stuff.
Hashtag fire Roseman. I'm with it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that could very well be possible. But I also think about you know I also think about veteran coaches that we have on staff right now, and how strong or not their voices are specifically. I mean,
I feel you.
yeah, Tracy Rocker hasn't been here very long. This is his first stint as the defensive line coach, but he has what 2-3 decades of experience spanning from collegiate to NFL level.
Yeah.
Um, you got him, and then like how necessarily strong is his voice with the defensive coordinator, as is how strong is Jeff Stoutland's voice with the head coach slash play caller, though, especially
Hmm.
the fact that Stoutland is the run game coordinator of of all things. He's still the run game coordinator as he was last year. I want to know how much of an influence those guys have in directing these new, in new these new positions that the personnel have for the first time on this coaching staff. That's one thing that I would want to ask first, and
Hmm.
after that answer is found, then you can probably move forward with changing up stuff in the front office a little bit, because if there's a front office change, especially at the GM spot for general manager, I think it's going to be a collaboration between him and Jeffrey Lurie on who they keep and who they don't, because GMs do have a bit of an influence when it comes to the personnel that they want on their staff. The owner just oversees anything. He doesn't necessarily micromanage every little aspect when it comes to his football team. That's why he entrusts the general manager to oversee what the owner doesn't want to have as far as responsibilities go. So in that case, it's going to be up to the GM on who he wants and who he doesn't. But in the case of the current state of the Eagles right now, I don't think it would make sense to clean house already without trying to evaluate the kind of evolution these guys may or may not have.
Okay.
If that makes sense, if that's good enough
That
answer
does. No, that's
that
good.
I gave you.
Yeah, no, that's good.
All right. Well, after a long-winded answer I gave, I guess I'm good with doing that. But it seems that will officially conclude my comeback stream to my channel. A lot more than I thought for just just a simple hangout, and hello to everybody that I'm here, and I'm ready to get back to work on Eagles content and Mavericks content, and then I'll have my gaming streams every now and then. I decided that I'm probably going to go under a different persona when I do my streams. I'll probably go with Lindy Game Zone instead of End Zone, and do some of my gaming that way instead of creating a second channel. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to on my end, and I only hope the work that I do is received well in the community, whether it's through subscribers or other content creators. But I thank you guys for the warm welcome back to the YouTube community, and I will leave it to the two of you to shout out your channels, and we can close the hangout.
Go ahead, Jordy. You haven't talked much tonight, man.
I'm just trying to be calculated, apparently, again tonight. But you should already know who I am. I am Jordy Fighter, host of 4 podcasts for my Celtics, Eagles, and Fighting Irish. And on those, I share the depression in the games we play, and poke fun at the co-host of the Holy Gator for his fandom of the Florida Gators, because they're not doing so good right now. But I'm over there, and well, hopefully this week gets a little bit better, because we only moved up one spot in the BCS poll, because the the rankings don't suck apparently.
Then you also have your episodes with One Tray Rock called One Tray Fighter, where you do your weekly pick'ems. So you can, for those that aren't really familiar with what Jordy does and the amount of work that he produces for his multiple podcasts, you can also find him with One Tray Rock on those kind of weekly pick'em episodes. Go ahead, AK.
Yeah, no, man. First things first. Welcome back. It's been too long.
I
You
know.
know,
I know.
well, everybody needs a little Lindy in their life.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, no, welcome back, man. You know, but yeah, it's always great talking football with you and every sport. Honestly, you got the knowledge, and I learn a lot from you. So I take this time and just listen, honestly. But yeah, I'm AK Eagles from the Eagles Uncensored podcast. I may fuss and cuss, but you can count on me and my content like the fucking city bus. And if you like the Wagyu, subscribe to. On the way to 300, you can find me tomorrow with Moochie and Pablo. I'll be on with them tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Always with my boy Vic 3 and Philly Foothills in the East Meets West. If you like comedy and football and just normal guys hanging out, bullshitting, definitely is the place to be. I'm going to start up my sub Mondays here again. With work and stuff, that's made it more complicated, but we're going to get back to that. So, yeah, man, I just appreciate you and all you bring to this, and can't wait to start seeing the content again, man.
Yeah.
And I got to stop being lazy myself. So.
Yeah, it does get a little much at times, especially when two teams in different sports are going on at the same time. I do gotta give my Mavs some love here, and make sure that I talk about them and cover them as well. I got a NBA. I think it's Game Pass or League Pass. I got a subscription for that I can go back and watch games and do some film breakdowns for the Dallas Mavericks. So that's something else
Nice.
that you guys can look forward to. But I gotta watch some of these games in order to do that first. But all I know is that we're on a win streak right now, and I hope we continue that trend with finding out how good Coach Kidd is going to continue to be for this basketball team. But with that said, I'm gonna catch some Z's for work. Been a long stream. Like I said, it was great to have this nice welcome, be able to hang out with a bunch of y'all for 3 hours. Shout out to everybody that came in from Birdman to these two on the panel as well with AK and Jordy. As always, hanging out with me, BLSG. Lucas Hallman was in here for the HPL. Joey Shakes made his appearance as well. Night Inks, Richie Mack, where are you hiding? It just goes on and on and on. Even some Big Play Slay, and even some random roasting in the comments that I have no idea where they came. And Football Talk with Benny, a former Giants content creator. So it's the love is from everywhere, and at the end of the day, that's the most appreciating thing that you can have, not just as a content creator, but as a human being, as we all are. So with that, I'm gonna get out of here, everybody. This is this has been Lindy, as y'all know, for the touchdown, taking the lead for the Eagles one video at a time and dropping buckets for the Dallas Mavericks. Go Braves, World Series champs. Have to throw that out there one more time. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Have a good night, and I will see you soon.